It's not my it's not my birthday. Wizard, it's not my birthday. Come on. What are you talking about? No. No. Just no. How are you doing, man? Oh, just gonna wait for a few minutes, let people in. I'll pretend that it is so you can get the birthday gaki. Oh. It's too early in the morning for this shit. Come on. No. Uh, seriously? While I'm waiting for people to like chat with, because I'm right now browsing here. I'll just show you what I'm looking at. I'm browsing Path of Exile 2 stuff because it's not my birthday. No, Nguyen, it's not my birthday. I'm browsing things I can get, and this stuff is cheap. Holy shit. Uh, Like seriously? Oh yeah, show filters. The Neo community could use some self-esteem coaching. How so? Do tell. RMT site? No, it's Path of Exile. It's Path of Exile trade. Like I'm surprised at how. For those of you who aren't aware of Path of Exile, it's you may have heard of games like Diablo. It's like your typical action RPG, like roguelike, I guess. I don't even know what the terms are. But unique items are just that they're unique. They usually do something special. No, this is not real money trading. I don't engage in real money trading. This is all just like in game. So for reference, an orbit transmutation is dirt cheap. You can get those at like the beginning of the game, and I think my current character has like 300 of them. They're like, and they're so this item, this unique item, which gives double spell damage at the cost of lower like cast speed, so you can't cast as fast. And its stats aren't the greatest, but it's like double your spell damage for. It's basically like pennies. An orbit transmutation is like, oh, pennies. Okay. So, yeah, this is not a real money trading site. This is official. So I'm like, wait, seriously? It's that inexpensive? Okay, cool. All right. Let's see, to put it into Neo perspective, it's like getting, let's see. The rarity of an orbit transmutation is like, how could I put it in Neo terms? It is about like it's I'm trying to find an equivalent in Neo. Let's see. Something in Neo that is incredibly common and you just kind of forget about. Like it's just that common. Let's see. I don't know, like it's like the equivalent of getting maybe 5 or 6 elixirs in Neo. Like eventually in Neo, like I already have max elixirs. It's let's just say it's comparable to getting an elixir at like the beginning of the game. You're like, wait, that's really common. I'm like, yeah. So imagine in the context of Neo, it's like, okay, you can get a divine item with like some really good rolls or some special rolls, maybe not the absolute best, but you can get like a divine for like an elixir. You feel like, you're like what? Okay. So it's kind of like that. No, it's not a real money trading site. I don't spend real money. And the only money I spend is officially through the game, which is for like stash tabs and some microtransactions. But their microtransactions are fine compared to other games. But the trading in the game is all official, so people set their own prices, their own economy to things. I've gotten some crazy good items that I realize are incredibly inexpensive. So I also realized that I've been using a lot of the game currency to like upgrade my items, and I'm like, wait a minute, like someone has a superior item than I could ever conceive of having. I so I'll just use my currency for that. To put it this way, it's like me using 10 elixir. I've been overpaying basically for my own gear. Been trying to craft great gear, but you need a lot of currency for that to make it work well. So it's like, oh, I've been spending 10 elixirs to try to get a great ethereal, but someone already has a significantly better ethereal piece of gear for 1 elixir. I'm like, okay, here you go. I'll just take that. Oni Ryu? No, no Gaki. Cool, let's get you a build and up and running fast. I already have a build for my character. We're a cast of nice characters. We're getting close to level 70s or mid 70s now. We're just we're trying to just get more powerful. We're in the end game now. All right, so question. If Team Ninja could improve one thing, what would you want it to be? I think for me, the bigger picture when it comes from Team Ninja in general could just be providing their reasoning for their changes, whatever they may be. That's really it. Um, because they make lots of changes, and sometimes we have no idea why, or at least I don't have an idea why, and it's just it can create a lot of, like, I can get frustrated too. I don't usually mind the changes they make, but if there isn't any reasoning behind it, and we're not aware, if I'm not aware of the reasoning, it can just, like, a lot of things can be misinterpreted. So there's that. That'd be the biggest thing. All right, anyway, I've spent 10 minutes just randomly talking. If let me try, I don't think I got any questions for this week. Yeah, no one gave me responses, so this is now a free open. If you guys have questions, you can feel free to ask, especially pertaining to any self-esteem issues you may have. So yeah, you can see this form here, read it and whatnot. We're all fixed. Yeah, everyone's perfect here. No, and that's fine. If you don't want any help by any means, you don't have to take it. But I typically, like, I have clients and I help them out with their self-esteem, I help them out with their relationships. So if there are specific issues you have, feel free to ask and I'll help as I can. So yeah, I've helped clients reconcile despite getting divorced, despite them having affairs. Many of my clients as well have had various, they usually have difficulty managing anxiety or stress, and they need healthier coping skills. Many of them, I'm pretty sure, have been diagnosed. I know some of them have been formally diagnosed with a few of these things: ADD, ADHD, PTSD, generalized anxiety disorder, major depressive disorder. Sometimes they'll type their partners as narcissists. So it can get complicated. But yeah, I'm just doing this for fun. So if you guys want some help, feel free to ask. Otherwise, I'll just, like, move into some other topics, which is fine by me. All right, a question. Have there been times where you're trying to work with a client and then later it's like, oh, you just have this diagnosis that makes sense? Um, Honestly, when it comes to the diagnosis, I can recognize it. Like, I'm not qualified to make a professional diagnosis, so usually they'll just tell me that they have a certain diagnosis. In all honesty, it's kind of an irrelevant detail because um it really doesn't change the nature of my work at all. Someone having depression and someone having ADHD, or whatever disorders they may be having, it's usually not why they're having relationship problems. They're having marital problems in the first place. It's usually just like I want to guess that some of the more of the clients more often than not have, like, some form of PTSD, or at least complex PTSD, or who knows, or something. Usually some traumatic event. I mean, I did. So, or usually some, like, trauma that they haven't processed. So, and they can kind of manifest in certain things like depression or anxiety disorders, or or whatever. And I might recognize, oh, they have the diagnosis, but it's like, okay, great, we have this diagnosis, but where do we go from here? Like, knowing this, can we use this to help understand how to improve things within the relationship anyway? I would assume having some diagnosis would be the reason for small fights in relationships, and like that's the whole reason even the fight. It's rarely the case. Like in my experience, it's rarely the case. Like I don't think I've noticed. I don't think it's ever really been a factor. Like once. I've had like I'll just take my own life. All right, I've been diagnosed before with major depressive disorder. This was back in 2022. Formal diagnosis is like there. All right. Cass didn't leave me because I had depression. She left me because I was toxic to her. My way of trying to deal with my depression, whatever symptoms I had, and like it wasn't a surprise to her, by the way. She's like, yeah, it's obvious you're depressed. And then for her in her life, she's like, I've had depression too. Like, the problem isn't that hey, you have depression. It's like, what do you do? Do you help? Do you make things worse? Do you make my depression worse? Oh, you do. Okay. Well, you know, I don't want to drown anymore type of deal. So people having a diagnosis in of itself is not as valuable as much as it is more valuable to understand how they work with it. Making each other's depression worse kind of funny. I made it worse for her, yeah. Oh, by a long shot. So clients having a particular disorder is irrelevant. It's like, sure, it's nice to know because maybe it could guide me in terms of, oh, okay, here's some things to look out for. But for the most part, I've usually identified those tendencies pretty early on. And what's more important is them understanding how to behave more appropriately in relationships in general, in a more productive way, a more adaptive way. So a fight could, oftentimes in fights, and what happens is there's, I would imagine in typical relationship fights, is a misunderstanding. Okay? How do you rectify a misunderstanding? By trying to be understanding. Oh no, we have misunderstandings in between us, and then because of those misunderstandings, we keep fighting each other, and then we have more misunderstandings. I'm like, okay, well then try to be understanding. Like, that's all you can do. That's all you can control, right? Try to understand the other person. If that other person isn't understanding you, try to understand what the hell's going on with them, especially if it's your significant other. Like, it's one thing if it's some random ass stranger. Like, you know, this is a very different dynamic. But if it's just say, hey, this is my loved one, this is my wife or my husband, like, try to understand where they're coming from, like, just as a default. But oftentimes with clients, that's not the case. It's very much like, how can I defend myself? How can I protect myself? And guess what? Spoiler alert, the other person's doing that too, because they're like, hey, please try to understand me. And then the client's like, no, you try to understand me. And there's just like nonstop back and forth fights and then further misunderstandings. And then like people do things that hurt each other. And it just gets worse and worse and worse and worse. So it's like, okay, sure, you might have depression. Okay, sure, you might have these issues. But the core thing is, bro, just try to understand each other. I know, Wizard. It is a very obvious thing. It is very much an obvious thing. But if you pay attention to any of my clients, it's like, yeah, fine, insert. Sure, I understand in theory I should be understanding towards my partner. But then they sidestep that entirely. They ignore it entirely because they're so self-focused. Their selfishness, their impulsiveness, so to speak, can sometimes just get in the way of them doing something so fucking obvious. And so it's usually just like a lot of things that are happening in their head that I'm trying to help them sort out into more healthy and productive ways. Relationship without any sort of arguing or conflict would creep me out. Yeah, conflict is normal. Conflicts happen. It be like, I mean, shit happens all the time. Without there being any sort of, like, to me, so let's talk about conflicts, I guess. Might as well just bring up conflicts in general. I don't need that. So, with, in general, not have, so I'll just speak from experience. I think there's this tendency, and I've had this tendency, so I'm just speaking from experience for me. I would want to avoid conflicts because in my mind, I'm thinking of it being like big blowouts and big fights. So I'm like, no, 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 I don't want to deal with any conflicts. I don't want to fight. I don't want to argue or anything like that, right? But let me get the definition of what a conflict actually is. Okay, and I think of conflicts, I think of shit like, oh my god, a fight, a battle, a war, right? Like really intense things, all things considered. Like, that's like, I think of like armed conflict. I'm like, no, I don't want that at all, right? That's my definition. That's how I'm seeing things. So when I'm in a conflict with somebody or I perceive something, I'm conflating that with like full on armed conflict. Like, obviously, I don't want that. I want to shut that shit down. But realistically, conflicts, like, that's a pretty severe conflict. But more often than not in relationships, before it starts getting to this super crazy point, it's just like we 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 have a difference of ideas, interests, or persons. Just a disagreement. Like people disagree about things. That's just human. That's just life. That's just a part of life. Or a conflict could be like, I'm not sure what flavor ice cream I want. Do I want chocolate or vanilla? I don't know. That's also a conflict. That's not fucking serious at all. Ooh, gee, which video game am I gonna play today? Oh man, am I gonna play Neo? Am I gonna play Path of Exile? I got no clue. I'm like, okay, so it's just conflicts, while they can be fight, they can just be differences. They can involve a difference. Is it technically a conflict when two people have a difference? Yes. Now, for me, in my experience, the way I would experience things in relationships would be I would more often see things as if they are fights rather than just like, oh, basic differences. So to me, what's happening is I'm experiencing, by and large, I'm feeling threatened, very threatened by the presence of a conflict. It could be like, oh, I like vanilla ice cream. She likes chocolate ice cream. Oh my gosh, we have such a huge difference. This is a big threat. Oh no, we don't like the exact same things. That means insert so many bad things, and now I'm so stressed. And I'm sure, as Jax you'd say, be like, dude, it's just different flavored ice creams. Is it actually really that much of a threat? Now I'm being a little facetious with this example, but that sense of where people can say, yo, it seems like you're overreacting, that tendency that I might have had or others might have is what can lead to the progression of conflicts getting more and more serious over time. My own misinterpretation of what is happening in reality is, and that cognitive distortion, so to speak, is what can, which is effectively a problem I have within me, is what more often than not does create conflicts and further conflicts that cannot be resolved in relationships, which eventually means the relationship health just declines. But as Dino is saying, if you don't have differences at all to even talk about, like, that just feels fucking weird. Like, imagine if you and your partner thought and did everything 100% the same. 100% the same. Everything, like, behaved the same. It'd be kind of weird. It'd be, like, quite creepy. I'm sure we would say, on some level, it just doesn't feel right. Not to mention, as Jax is also saying, differences do make us human and individuals. Yeah. So, and right, if there's no conflicts, we're clones of each other. There's no fun. There's no growth. Let's take Neo 2 versus Neo 3. If Neo 3 was exactly the same as Neo 2, I don't think we'd be all that excited to try it. Maybe, like, okay, cool. Maybe a glorified expansion pack was what Neo 3 could have been. But without those significant changes, those significant differences, there's no room for growth. There's no sharing of stuff. There's no cool things to discover. It's a plateau at best. But naturally, because we are human beings and we do have differences, well, I guess conflict is inevitable. Not necessarily big blowouts, but just differences. I don't know, Call of Duty has a fresh coat of paint every time and people are excited, so maybe for Neo it wouldn't be so bad. Well, that's where they got Neo too. I'm thinking, I haven't kept up with Call of Duty, so I can't comment on it. But I remember the Madden games. Like I played like Madden games a little bit, like those football games, back when I was like a teenager, and I remember the level of change in between the games was so minimal. I was like, what's the fucking point of this? Like, okay, you update the stats, the roster, add in like 2 new features, and then apparently everyone goes wild and pays full price. I'm like, okay, I guess. I'm not that interested. And yeah, sure, Wizard. I'm sure some people like the exact same type of game. That's fine. But I'm pretty sure they do not want to, like, having no differences. Like, at least in that there is some difference. It's not significant for me, enough for me. But for some people, it's this, like, you have nothing to build off of. There's no change, there's no difference, there's no, like, growth opportunity. It's just the same shit. Like, you could have the exact same game and play, like, let me just take me. Neo 2 got old after a while. No shit, I played it forever. There was nothing for me to learn. There was no growth. There was nothing cool I knew really I could do that was that enjoyable. So obviously, like, I dropped it. And then Neo 3 came out, and I was like, holy shit, this is awesome. And I appreciate Neo 3 for its differences. Neo 1, I struggled with the differences, and then when Neo 2 came out, there was a conflict in me. Anyway, I think I'm kind of ranting a little. But when it comes to relationships, for example, how someone, in general, this is like the big marker for in my opinion, for relationship health, is how my client deals with conflict. Is it in a way that promotes growth, or is it just that promotes stagnation and or decay? More often than not, because they're my clients, it's usually whatever they're doing is maladaptive and is encouraging decay. And they are latched onto these tendencies, the type of thinking or type of behavior that would make things worse. So, for example, conflating everything to be a threat all the fucking time and doesn't seem right. I was using that facetious example of, hey, like, chocolate versus vanilla ice cream, and making that out to be like some life-threatening decision. It's like, okay, maybe there's one reality where that's possible, but I guess But usually the reason for them to perceiving such an innocent thing on average to be a threat is some internal issues happening in there. So it could be like, oh, the reason why it's a threat, for example, like here, let me give you like some stupid example. Hey, I remember when me and my partner, we used to get vanilla ice cream together all the time, but now she likes chocolate. Does that mean she doesn't like me anymore? Does that mean, or maybe one of her exes loved chocolate, so maybe she's now seeing her ex or something. Sure, those concerns could be there, but it's already like, wait, why are we going straight up to like alarm territory? Which is one thing to be concerned about. But second, what the clients do, which makes it even worse, is whatever insecurities that they might have is just short circuit. What they will do because they're feeling threatened is also very like toxic. That's the bigger problem. And so then they'll be like, no, my partner can't have chocolate ice cream, and I'm bitter about it, and I'm gonna be angry at them for this. And I'm just like, wait, like this is pure self-sabotage. When it could, and like they make all these assumptions and all these conclusions in like split seconds, and then just all fear-based, and then through that fear they take certain actions which just make it worse. And it's like, if you're worried about it, you could have just asked, hey, I noticed. You could have like just asked, hey, why'd you get chocolate? We usually get vanilla together. What made you go for chocolate ice cream? It's like, like you just ask that. Don't know if that makes the most sense. Forgive me if I'm word salading today. As you say, fights over trivial stuff usually mean they're fighting over bigger stuff all the time. Yeah. And rather than like trying to tackle it in a healthy way head on, they're like doing so many it just doing so many things, which just makes it problematic. So I focus on helping them understand how to deal with conflicts at large, whether it's internal or with their partners, just to get them into a healthier space. And then usually things resolve themselves over time. Like, I'll tell you a story of a client I worked with this week. So she's divorced, and she kind of is flip-flopping a little bit with some of her behavior towards her ex-husband. So she loves him. She wants to like be with him and stuff like that. Understandably so, because that's why she's working with me in the first place. But then now her ex-husband isn't like calling her back. Like he'll spend some time with her, and it looks like he seems hot and cold from her perspective, right? And she's getting latched on to him being hot or him being cold, and letting that determine her own emotional state. She's divorced and wants to get back together a little too late. No, it's not. It's a divorce or not, by the way, is an irrelevant detail. I've helped clients reconcile post-divorce. It's not like the divorce thing is just a title, in my opinion, compared to relationship health and quality. You can easily get remarried if you have a really happy relationship. Takes a lot of time, but it's certainly there. Reconciliation can happen anyway. Yeah, Jax, you make a good point too. It could either be they're fighting over bigger stuff all the time as well. It could also be that they aren't addressing the big issues. Yeah, that could be the case too. Could be some weird combination of the two. Have you ever had clients get remarried? I can't think of any at the top of my head. I think so though. Yeah, none that come to mind. Personally, with me, have I had clients get remarried in my time working with my previous job? I don't think I have. I've had, but I definitely have had clients reconcile. And it's like, I think for the outside world looking in, they're kind of like, wait, them being remarried is just semantics at this point. It's like, all right, I guess. It's like, wait a minute. They're living together, they're sleeping with one another, they're doing all these things, they're spending time as a family, they're going on vacations, and it's like, okay, it's weird they're not married, but because all intents and purposes, they're acting like a married couple? Like, what? That I've seen. I remember one specific client. It's like he got divorced, and then later he's just like going on a vacation and experiencing some intimacy with his ex-wife, and they seem like really happy together. I'm like, okay, like, all right, I guess. Or one of my former coworkers, it was basically just it was effectively a married couple once again, just in everything but name. Um, but yeah, those are the ones that I can recall. Or like I don't even know if like maybe they did get married and they're just not public about it. I got no fucking clue. Right, maybe there's not much reason to do another wedding at that point. Who knows? Yeah, it's just keep going anyway. And I think that like attachment to the title is like obviously like I would want to get remarried to Cass like one day, but straight up like she knows how I feel about her, but she doesn't reciprocate. And I'm like, okay, well we obviously have like the whole like getting remarried thing. I'm just like, okay, that's gonna be like years down the line, if at all a possibility. But that focus is honestly kind of counterproductive about, hey, am I going to get remarried or not? What would help me to get remarried anyway is just to make sure my relationship quality with the person that I love is as good as possible. Like, that's about it. It's like, okay, happy, healthy relationship. Keep improving the quality of that over time. Do what I can, do my part. Help her heal herself, etc. Help her get strong. I'm like, those are things I would do when I'm married anyway. So while yes, it'd be nice to get remarried, for me the bigger focus is on quality of life anyway. So I'm like, I don't really give a fuck, to be honest. I'm like, yeah, sure, it'd be nice, but uh doesn't really change what I ought to do anyway. So as you're saying, Wizard, it's not much reason for me to do all the wedding thing, like focus on that. Not like a rush, like get married to me now. I'm like, I don't know if that really matters. So my focus has changed to just do the best I can every day. Be nice, be safe, try to be safer, try to figure out how I can make our life a little better, a little bit more fun, how to insert new ways of being respectful, things like that. Um, so like my process doesn't really change. It's just like how can I get better? How can I make Cass feel more comfortable? How can I help her feel stronger, be stronger, happier? Where's the kitty? Kitty is sleeping. So I hope that makes sense. I'm getting a little brained out. How would you differentiate the line between being performative and being normal? Let me make sure I understand what being performative is. I think I do, but performative. A performative, made or done for show. Okay, so it is as I thought. It's just a performance. Ask a liberal? I didn't know that's a Reddit. Performative is a pejorative for people that publicly act out in a way to show their goodness and virtue but do not actually do the real work. Oh, so it's bullshit. How can you tell between something being... So is the question effectively, how can you tell something being bullshit and being normal? You know, that's a very good question. Oh my god. I got to segue this into something that I learned recently and it's fucking crazy. I cannot fucking believe this. Okay. So I was talking about this on Discord. Should I use this website? I need a... I think this will work. Alright. This is crazy for me. So... I can't give too many details in regards to how do I know this individual. Basically showing up as a representative instead of your authentic self. So in other words, being fake as fuck. Okay? At one of my former jobs, I knew this guy. He legit, I was told, where's, oh, we need the mugshot. Come on, the mugshot's the point. Okay, whatever. This guy that you see right here. No, I do not need this damn advertisement. Can I skip? Okay. This dude. All right, yeah, chicken burrito. This dude, all right? I learned like yesterday. I learned he was I learned of this and I was like, "Wait, what the fuck? I knew this guy." I'm like, "What the fuck?" So, in terms of me recognizing he was being performative all this time, like I didn't suspect it. I didn't suspect that. Like I learned he's charged with 10 counts of distribution of child pornography. Yeah, look at this shit. 10 counts of possessing CP. I'm like, what? 7,100 digital files. I'm like, are you crazy? I'm like, what? Law enforcement officers, including a SWAT team, were seen at this guy's home July 2nd. I'm like, whoa. You know, obviously the details are coming out. I'm like, oh my god. I'm thinking about the times I've spoken to this individual, and my impression of him was just like, I think he just seemed like a mentally like tortured individual. Is pretty much how I saw it. And so I had no clue about this fucking crazy shit. I mean, I was talking about this with Cass yesterday, and I'm like, dude, how do you accumulate like 7,100 digital files of this twisted shit? I'm like, I don't even have like 2,000 videos on my YouTube channel that I've curated for years. What the fuck, dude? And like, I learned like he has kids apparently. I'm like, what the fuck? Seriously? Like you can see, like I've been looking at this for a while because I was just in like such disbelief. What the actual fuck? Like this guy has a family, he was married. And now I'm like, like what the fuck? And so like for me internally, I've been trying to like figure out like how like what could I have done to pick this up sooner or anything like that, right? So this person very much was being performative. Whatever I saw was a complete facade. I mean, sure, maybe some things weren't, but this super crazy, fucking fucked up thing was something this person hid. So I think it's wizard. I looked into the investigation. This has been an investigation that they were doing since apparently February. And it's like I guess the police department worked with NCIS, like the Navy criminal, whatever it is. I don't know what it stands for. So they like traced, like I read some stuff and I'm like, wow, they did like super thorough probable cause, like everything by the book from what I understand. They got a search warrant, like everything. So this guy's been on their radar for a while, and they were referencing activity, I guess, from January to July, and I'm like, wait, what the fuck? So messed up. So his behavior was being very performative. And so I think when it comes to us, I think Jack's places makes a good point about putting on that face, being dishonest about who you really are. This person obviously was, to an incredible degree. I think when it comes to understanding or showing up as our best selves, for me, I think of it as human beings. We can, I mean, we're changing, whether we want to admit it or not. We're changing. Our bodies change. We age. We have new experiences, and we're adapting in certain ways. I think when it comes to being our authentic self, since that's in my mind a very like it's a fluid concept, it's a evolving concept. I mean, usually when people get older, you'd hope they get more mature, right? But we have all sorts of ways of thinking that help us adapt into ways that are either productive or unproductive in our lives. But there's still some change. I think the question of, hey, like showing up as who we are today is kind of like who we are in the moment is a little difficult to do, because in my mind, who we are is always changing. You're learning when you're speaking with me, you're probably learning something, or your brain is adapting in some way. What I would instead encourage is, rather than, hey, I'm trying to show up as my authentic self, like who I am presently, is I want to show up as a good person because I believe I have certain values. So I would say focus on trying to practice the best version of your values and adopt behaviors accordingly. It's probably going to feel fake, but consider it like you're building a skill, is what I would say to work towards. You might not be the version of yourself you'd like to be in the future, but you can start practicing that now. It's kind of like with me with Neo. I'm obviously a much better Neo 3 player than I was before. But I didn't say at the beginning, hey, I wasn't like, oh, I'm an amazing Neo player, but then like all the data suggests I'm fucking not when it comes to Neo 3. It's like, no. Maybe one day what I will be is a better Neo 3 player, but to become that Neo 3 player, that better Neo 3 player, what do I need to do? You know, I have certain mindsets that I have, certain values that are important to me, right? And then based on that, I know I need to practice these specific things to become better. And so it's an upgrade. And then it's kind of just like a cycle, in a way. Jax puts it very well. As we evolve our core and keep growing our core, build who we are, there is going to be a shift in how we think and how we behave as well. And it's like a constant cycle. So now one thing that can get in the way is the biggest thing that I would say determines whether you're being performative or being normal is whether you're in denial. And if you're in denial about your actual skills about something, your own values, if you're in denial about what those are, and if you're not practicing those, you're not aligned in that regard, then yeah, you're being a fraud. Like, very much so. There's a difference between, hey, I'm not good at this yet, and I'm going to keep trying to practice it, and I genuinely want to practice it. I know I suck right now, but I'm going to keep working at it. Eventually, I'll get better. So in that sense, yourself is just someone who's just trying to grow and evolve versus just, well, this is who I am, and I'm going to pretend I'm going to be this, and I'm going to act like I'm this, but I don't have anything to back it up, really. It's like, okay, well, then you're just fucking lying. So it's like, imagine in Neo 3, if I were to say, yo, I am, or if, let's just say when I started playing Neo 3, I was to say, yo, I'm the best Neo 3 player ever, and this is, I'm the best ever. And then someone's like, all right, show me. And then if I die to like Takeda Shingen in like 3 seconds, I'll say, well, no, that was a fluke. Sure, someone will give me benefit of the doubt at first, but if that becomes a repeated pattern, it's pretty fucking obvious I'm full of shit. Or it's like, whoa, this guy can't even key pulse. Guy can't even key pulse at all. Doesn't even know how to dodge, but can barely deflect. Doesn't even use like wait, no, bro. This seems like bullshit. And then not to mention he's in denial about it. I highly doubt this is legit. So as I think Jax is doing a great job in explaining this here to anybody who's tuning into chat. Your shortcomings coupled with your strength and awareness of who and what you are is a recipe for authenticity. Yeah. If someone is humble and they're just demonstrating a capacity and a desire for growth, it's very easy to trust that. But if someone's going to present themselves as like, oh, I'm the perfect person, I have no flaws, then it's one, it's like, I doubt it. And second, okay, you say you're perfect, fucking show me. Wizard, get out of here with that shit. But yeah, someone who's just focused on growing, sure, they may not be like perfect or whatever or amazing, but it's like you're like, sure, okay, they'll probably get better over time. Somewhat like I'm more likely to trust somebody who is much more with two things. One, a person who is willing to own their flaws and admit their mistakes, because that does take a good amount of courage on some level. But second, they're not just like, yeah, here are all my fuck ups. It's like, no, it's pretty clear they're doing something to improve. There is like growth. It's like, okay, they're aware of their flaws and they're actively working on them, and they've demonstrated this over time consistently. I'm like, okay, they're gonna get better. I ain't gotta worry shit. Let me ask you guys a question here. Based on your time seeing me play the Neo series, do you think in the next 500 hours of me playing Neo 3, do you think I will get better as a player? As a Neo 3 player? Yes or no? Based on my track record, do you expect me to play better? Yeah. Compare this to yeah, like you're like, yeah, of course. Without a doubt. The version of Pooper Llama we're seeing at 500 hours of Neo 3 will be very different from the version we see when he's spent 1,000 hours. And I imagine in your minds, it'd be like, I bet there's going to be a lot of learning, a lot of growth, and like there's going to be a lot of details. It's going to be very like it's like next level shit. So hey, I don't know what that looked like. I don't know, like I don't have proof of it, but I have enough evidence to support that there will be that future version that will look cool. Now, would you expect your stereotypical Souls-like fan to now let's flip this. Would you expect your typical Souls-like fan who spends 1,000 hours, how much better do you expect them to get? Do you expect them to get as good as me? It sounds so arrogant, oh my god. And I'm using the words typical Souls-like fan for a reason. Admission. Typical Soul fans don't improve. There you go. No matter how much time they spend on it. Yeah. As Jax is saying, admitting your flaws is the recipe to healthy catalyst for growth and development. Right. So I can see pretty like not definitive support for a typical Souls-like fan. Like, would you expect someone who says as good as you know, but as good as they can be? Yes. I think then, since Jax is saying that, I should qualify this a bit more. If someone has the attitude, most humble, if someone has the attitude of, hey, I think I need to think of something. Give me a moment. If someone adopts the mentality of, oh, ninja style is only for casuals, do you expect them to ever get really fucking good with ninja style? To understand its depth and complexity? Do you expect them to get really good with a mid-air play? No, due to the limit thought process. Exactly. So, right. Now, was I concerned at first about, oh, ninja style doesn't have stances, will it feel limited? Of course I was. But the first question I had, I wasn't like, oh, okay, I see, therefore it is 100%. I'm like, I see, and there are things I don't understand. What can I learn from it? Like, that makes all the difference. I'm trying to learn more, try to figure out more. I'm curious. I'm trying to understand things when things don't make sense, rather than immediately me concluding, no, this is shit, to being like, I'm like, okay, let me like try to figure out what the fuck I can here. Let me try to understand. Let me try to understand as much as I can. And because of that, yo, ninja style is a lot of fun. Like, I don't really miss the stances all that much. And also, I would like to think that the feedback that I give in regards to ninja style is a bit more well-informed. Right. Mindset to not improve. If, yeah, limited thought process, narrow thinking breeds limited growth. Exactly. So then if that person was, so we wouldn't expect that person to grow. Now, if that person was to claim, hey, I'm the best at Neo 3, all of us would be like, that's full of shit. And if they were to like try to spread and say, yeah, I'm the best at Neo 3, it's like, even if that person doesn't believe they're being like, they're being full of shit, it's like, look, performative or not, we don't care and believe in it anyway. because it doesn't really have the important ingredients that would guarantee someone could grow in the first place to become amazing at the game anyway. Right, Jax. I've done the work, therefore you have weighted knowledge to provide substantive information. Right. That's why I'm considered an authority figure for Neo 3. I'm like surprised sometimes at the reception I get. I was like, and like I've been having fun with this lately. I saw like on Reddit, I just see like my name get dropped, so I'm like, all right, bro, I'm gonna totally do shit with this. So like if it wasn't for Poofer Llama, I wouldn't have known about this with Flux 2. I'm like, here you go, I got a Flux 2 comment. Like, shout out to the goat. I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. You know, I'm like, hey, if I can make someone feel special, I guess I'm a Neo star. Oh, that's you? Hey! Shout out to the goat. Oh, this was you? Thank you, thank you. Like, that was a cool moment, but like I've earned this shit on some level, so I've earned it because of my guides, and I don't even think my guides are that amazing for me. I'm like, they're kind of like my Neo Academy videos, a lot of them are just messy as fuck, but they're helpful for people, so at least it works. I like my Soulcore guides more, even though I sound dead inside in there. So Neo 3 Academy ones, and like, they're gonna be a different thing altogether. Thank you, I appreciate it. So the thing is that like I'm just focused on providing better and doing better. I'm not focused on how people see me. And I think for that reason, it's a lot easier to trust me in the first place and to regard me as an authority figure for Neo, that is, considering that my focus is very much just on providing good value to people. It's not about the image. Like, the image does play a factor in terms of a little bit, but usually it's like, oh, if someone sees on me as a bad thing, my first question is going to be, what is it that I'm doing that is a problem? And what can I rectify? Because I'm less concerned about how y'all see me as opposed to the product of what I'm providing. If my product is good and people still want to dismiss it, I'm like, okay, cool, I guess. I mean, all right. If someone is going to dismiss like Neo gameplay and say, oh, Neo is just an inferior Souls-like. All right, if someone is gonna, all right, so if someone watches this video for Neo 2, like the main video for, what are these ads? I fucking hate these ads. Recently, I depersonalized my ads, and now I get stupid shit like this. Ah, yes. Thanks for the butt cheeks. That's great. I'm so excited to put, yes, of course. Totally legit ads. Totally legit. Ah, yes. Thank you. Solar panels. So if someone dismisses Neo 2 gameplay after watching a video like this, then I'm like, all right, bro. I think that's a you thing. Like, okay. Like, I'll just let my work do the talking for me. I'm more concerned about the quality of my work rather than, oh, this is how they see me. As a byproduct of me having expertise in the game and consistent, actual, qualified help for people that actually like fucking works, of course people are gonna trust me. I don't like, that's why I don't even have to think about it. I'm not focused on whether people trust me. I'm like, is my stuff good? Is it helpful? No? Okay, let me try to understand why. What could I do? What can I do to make it better? Okay, great. It's good shit. Okay, people trust me. Like, wow, what a radical fucking concept. So I don't need to perform. I don't need to put on an act. I'm not concerned about that. I'm just concerned about how can I do better. And then I do that. So I definitely want to understand what flaws I have with my work. I usually listen to a little bit more to critical voices. I'll pay attention to them a little bit more at first to see if there's something of value I can take away from it. Sometimes it's just bullshit. I'm sure, like, as you guys would know, just being on the internet. Sometimes it is bullshit, and it's like, okay, this wasn't actually any constructive criticism. This is just someone trying to drag me down. I'm like, okay, so you're not trying to help. Great. And I get comments like this all the time too. Let me bring this up. I remember I saw like this comment. Where was it? Like, where I just realized this comment has no value for me. This game looks so bad. What do I do with that? Well, I could say, no, it doesn't look bad. Like, there's no fucking point. This doesn't help me grow. There's like nothing. People asking questions, that's great. But I'm looking for things that could help me with my growth for my channel, or not so much my channel, but for the quality of information on my channel. You saw that comment and downvoted it. Yeah, it's just like, it's like, what does it do? What does it change? So like, I don't really care how people see me, like, as much as I used to. I had childhood reasons I need to. Right, the guy should tell Yasuo instead of me. Yeah, I'm just like, dude, I'm just playing this game for fun, and I'm trying to make cool stuff that I feel good about, and I'm happy to make. That's about it. If there's something people can do to help me, great. Okay, whatever. So it's easier to trust me because I take feedback relatively well. I mean, there's always room for improvement, of course. But I'm trying to just adopt. I'm being receptive to feedback. And then for me internally, I'm trying to also determine what's actually feedback and criticism, constructive criticism, versus just, hey, I want to shit all over you. I've had issues with differentiating between the two because when I was growing up, both were mixed together in some way. And I'm like, all right, thanks, Dad. Thanks for that. Except he didn't really have constructive criticism. He just had criticism. That was it. So feedback became a threat. Or, yeah, it did. But yeah, that's a whole other story. So for me, to kind of wrap up this point, for me, the determining factor about whether I'm being performative or whether I am being authentic, so to speak, is based on two parts. One, I'm being honest. Honesty is a big factor. If I'm lying about shit, it's already performative. And second, when I'm faced with feedback that goes against my idea of myself, what choice do I make? Am I focused on trying to become a better version of who I'm trying to be? Or am I just in, again, denial? It really just boils down to denial. Because if someone tells me, hey man, your guides suck, like that's a hurtful way to try to give criticism, not gonna lie. But just saying that, but if someone's like, hey man, these are some issues I see with your guides. And if I'm like it'll hurt still, but I'll be like, all right, well, this guy's trying to help. Like, I can't be mad at him for that. I'm like, all right, thanks, appreciate it, and let me incorporate it to make it better. Which is what I did from the Neo 2 Academy to the Soul Core guides. I got criticism that my Neo 2 guides, they have a lot of valuable information, but they're like bloated and it's not like cleanly edited. Soul Core guides were like, okay, let's just go straight to the fucking point. And people like that. is like that simple, as opposed to me fighting back and being like, well, you just don't appreciate the value of my guides. Blech. Like, that's such an insecure, that would be such an insecure, immature response. No, I have no problems. You have the problem. It's all you. I'm like, okay, I guess I just won't tell you again. To differentiate constructive versus destructive criticism, simply create constructive as wrapped in compassion and desire to want to help and not hurt. Yeah. I've had people say, hey, I would have appreciated it if if your guides were like this. I'd be like, oh, okay, cool. All right, thank you for letting me know. Let me try to see what I can do to incorporate that. I was wondering, did you take my comment about your Cestus's fight as criticism? Let's see. I'm just going to say yes because it's you. Let's see. What did you say? I remember getting bodied relentlessly in the demo, trying to parry this guy. He has such a big variety of attacks, you have no idea which one is coming. Yes, Wizard. I'm going to take that as an offensive thing, and personally, just because, even though it doesn't have anything to do with me, it's on my channel. Therefore, it's... Oh yeah, that's not even the right one. That's not even the right comment. I'm going to take it offensively anyway. Wait, which one, Wizard? Optimization, name of the game? Will it work? This doesn't work at all. No. I don't want it. No. Just... Let me see. Under 9 days. Optimization, the name of the game. Is it this one? Or did I... Oh, this one. Combat with fists is always so cool to watch in all games, but love a video where you also mix in with ninja claws, so the whole fight has a fresh variety of moves. In my opinion, it would at least make the video 30% cooler. I thought of that. I legit, though, could not help but think of, like, My Little Pony, where I think Rainbow Dash says, like, 20% cooler. Um, I'll probably do that at some point. I could probably do, like, I think I was like, I think if I have to be perfectly honest, I was like, dude, I don't want to make a video. I don't want to keep making videos like that. So like for a split second, I was like, oh, I'm feeling ordered. Not that you said anything to feel ordered or anything. You're like, hey, I just like to see this. But I could do it at some point. Cestices with claws and talons. I wouldn't oppose that. This isn't bad by any means. You're just saying, hey, I'd really like to see this. So that's fine. That's not like bad at all. Someone asked me today, hey, could you make a build video, please? And I'm like, yeah, I'm probably not going to. I don't want to make a build video. Having a request is fine. Because I can always say no to it. But if someone's demanding me to do it, I'm like, all right. Yeah, could have been better. What do you mean? I'm not. No, my video was the best brand. Be like, all right, bruh. That'd be pretty messed up. But no, Wizard, I didn't take it. I didn't take it as an attack. Like I said, for me, it's just like, oh man, I gotta make another video. But you don't even say that. You said, hey, you'd love to see this. It's not a you issue. It's a me issue. Like I just get a little triggered. I don't think triggered is the right word, but it's interesting. I have PTSD, and I don't even like to use the word triggered. Uh, there's some moments that just like rile me up a little bit, where people are just like, there is a sense of entitlement sometimes on the internet, and it gets really irritating. It's like, oh, make these guides for us. I'm like, I'll do it when I fucking feel like it. Right now, I don't feel like it, so I'm not making it. And then they're like, oh, we're not gonna get my viewership, and I'm like, okay, fine by me. I know. I totally expect that. I'm not entitled to people's viewership unless I have videos that is worth their time. In the same way, if someone isn't entitled to me spending time in life for them, like it's fine. I'm okay. Like demanding me to do something for you for fucking free, no way. The amount of time and thought and energy I'd have to put into it, like, dude, I get paid much more money. Like I charge 100 an hour at work. I'm like, you're gonna pay me 100 per hour per work? Or anything even close? Did you even pay me 100? No? Okay, fuck off. Like, dear lord. So yeah, there's enough of that. There's enough entitlement. It gets irritating. So not for free. If I pay you, you'll make the Neo 3 Academy. Depending on how much be paid, yeah. But like, I'd fucking hate it. I don't want to make the Neo 3 Academy coming from a place of, oh, I'm doing it for like work. I want to do it in a way that I'm happy with. And I think I need to have what's framed in my mind change a little bit to make it more motivating. Because when I think of just providing Neo 3 Academy, I think of the people that I'm providing it for are just like the internet as opposed to something more personal, which definitely skews my motivation. Because then I'm just like, what the fuck am I doing this for? Oh, just for some opaque version of people rather than specific. Your trigger is when people say what you need to do is, yeah. I find it a kind of humorous when people backseat me. I'm like there's very, 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 very few people who have tips about the game that I will listen to. Very few. I think like one of them is average new enjoyer. He'll provide something, and I'm like, all right, cool, I'll try it out. Or no, I don't want to try this out right now. I want to focus on this. But he's usually, even then, he's usually just like, yo, have you tried this? Check this out. But it's pretty funny when like people try to backseat me. I'm like, okay. I mean, I usually just kind of laugh at it because I'm like I don't take much offense to it. I'm like, okay, you can think I'm incapable, and then just like watch me play the game for like 5 minutes. Right. If someone's providing a suggestion, something I can reject, then I'm like, okay, I'll consider it. But if someone's demanding me to do something, I'm like, no, I don't want to do that. And so I don't. Ugh. So I can mask my demands by framing them as suggestions. You know, Wizard, I know you're being funny all about that, but my clients sometimes do have done that. Some of the clients I've worked with, they're so manipulative. Just like it's ridiculous. And the thing is, sometimes they don't recognize it, or they do recognize it, and they just simply are. They don't. They're just so obsessed about getting what they want. In other words, they're being needy. Needy. I think that's what the traditional definition. Let me check if that's the correct definition. Man, I don't even think the word needy really describes my experience with those who are needy. Oh yeah, I've had clients try to manipulate me straight up, or they'll just try to lie to me and they'll put on a front. I've had that happen. They'll try to do like a power play, and I'm like, okay, I guess. Um, so I don't like to think of it in term like the word neediness. I'm actually not the biggest fan of. My kind of argument is like with the word need or needy. Like I always saw it as like, well, everybody has needs, right? So I usually don't like to think of it as needing. I like to think of it as forcing. Can I get, yeah. So it goes into what Jax is saying, the difference between a suggestion and a demand. If someone's demanding you to do something, perhaps let's use demanding. Forcing, we'll use demanding. Pressuring, forcing, all this shit, right? Because everybody has needs, and I just don't want to get lost in I guess, words like that. Now, if someone wanting me, so let's go back to my YouTube comments, right? Just to kind of illustrate the difference. So someone's asking, hey, could you do this? So it's a request. Now I'm used to experiencing this in my YouTube comments. Now, I basically say, hey, I'm not going to do it. This person wants it, but at least I can say no. But if this person was demanding about it, then I anticipate their response would be, hey, insert like rebuttal, angry comment or whatever. How dare you? You should be able to make this. I'm the viewer, blah, blah, blah. Then what they're trying to do is, well, then they're coming from this space, which should be considered needy. So it's like very unhealthy, and it's like, okay, they got like, this goes beyond being mature in any way. This isn't like a dialogue. This is pretty fucked up. You need very few things in life, like roof, food, yeah, like food, shelter. Very basic, like physiological concerns. Now, the interesting thing is, and I'm going to call out men in general, is when it comes to acts like sex, oh my god. This is common. And I'm not talking about like sexual assault. I'm just talking about like just being demanding, pressuring, coercion, any manipulation, anything like that, try to get what they want. They'll do anything, including they'll do all sorts of shitty things to get sex. They can't take no for an answer, basically. Like being a pickup artist. Yeah, exactly. And I think I told you guys how I went down that rabbit hole like over a decade, 15 years ago, I think. Like they'll do disingenuous shit. They'll like lie, they'll whatever, just to try to get what they want. Right, or to pull their subscription, right. Like it's bullshit. They'll like try to flex power to get what they want. It's pretty hilarious actually for me since I just have learned to be like, yo, if I smell this shit in any capacity, I'm out. Like instantly. Instantly. Like I just do not like give a flying fuck. I will call it out when I see it, and I'm trying to see like, hey, like am I misunderstanding something or are they actually coming from this place? And then I see, oh, they're actually coming for this place. I'm like, go ahead and kick and scream and whatever, but let me get the let me get the gif here. I have to get this. I have to get the meme. This is my reaction to that. Right, like sexual flavors, you want to be promoted. Right, exactly. It's all like the messed up, dishonest shit. Or stereotypical nice guy, where it's like stereotypical nice guy talk that you've probably seen or heard. And it's like, I'm the nicest person or whatever, and like subtle guilt trips here and there. And you're just such a bitch and whatever, and like just putting the other person down. I'm like, really? Just because you can't get laid? Like, you won't, like, okay. It's like so messed up. And there's like so many other things that are messed up about it. Right, passive aggressive, as opposed to if someone's saying no, just be like, okay, respect the no. I saw some nice guy go mask off immediately when the girl says no. Exactly. That's the point. And then you can tell that, oh, they're acting like, oh yeah, they're coming from a place of just like freedom and whatever. And they're okay with being told no. There's no like drama. But then they actually get told no, they go towards this bullshit. And you're like, ah, they were being performative. They're actually in this fucking category I need to stay away from. They're not even in this in the first place. So not only am I definitely not going to have sex with them, I just get them the fuck away. Bye bye. So being able to tell if someone is being performative, it's like, well, for me, it's just time and let's just see how they respond to conflicts. How do they respond to not getting what they want? They go banana, say all the vile shit they could while saying the last message, which still, oh, you're the sweetest girl, baby. Yeah, it's so funny. It's ridiculous. Right, Jax. My no is a full stop and a full sentence. Agreed. No is a full complete sentence. If you don't require me to justify my yes, I want all you to require me to justify my no. Yeah, right. If you don't want me to justify my yes. Wait. I don't think I'm absorbing that right. If you don't require me to justify my yes. Oh, I see. Yes. I see what you mean. Right. It's I see what you mean. If I'm consenting to say sexual activity, there's no like on average, there is no like wait, justify why you're saying yes to me. Give me all the reasons why you're saying yes. It's just like, okay, I just accept it. But when it comes to no, there is that expectation of, oh, you got to justify it in order to allow you to say no. It's like it should go both, like, be consistent at the very fucking least. But it's not. And it's not consistent because these people are just that desperate for this shit. But it's not even just about desperation. Desperation's a part of it, but they've got a lot of shitty tendencies in them that needs to be fixed. It's a complete lack of respect, to say the least. No respect for the other person's autonomy, like dehumanization, to say the least. Really don't care. It's just selfish entirely. Someone who's using these tactics to try to get what they want and putting on a performance of being a nice guy doesn't actually care about the other person. And those things are death sentences for any healthy relationship, period. So with my clients, because they can do this, whether it is intentional or unintentional like it was for me, that shit has to change. No matter what. But yeah. All right. Damn, it's already been an hour and a half. You guys have any questions or things you want to chat about aside from me just like ranting about random shit? See if I missed anything in the meantime. I think wanting that is natural. Yeah, people do need to learn how to take an L sometimes. It's not hard. The funny thing with the nice guy stuff is like they'll say like, oh, the woman's just a prude or whatever. I'm like, women want to have sex too. They just don't want to have sex with you individually because you suck. So stop sucking. Or as I've been jokingly saying, telling Chicken Burrito, I'm like, bro, you have a skill issue. Not Chicken Burrito specifically, but as I've been telling, I need to clarify. God, that came out horribly. Um, as I've been having conversations about clients or other people, turning luck issues into skill, I'm like, if someone's complaining things is a luck issue, I'm like, no, more often than not, it's a skill issue. No, I'm not saying Chicken Burrito has a skill issue. I'm so sorry about that. But yeah, for like these stereotypical nice guys, I'm like, bro, you are lacking in considerable skills. We need to upgrade your skills. You got a skill issue. You don't have relationship skills. You need those pretty badly. Get those relationship skills up. You know, like treating another person nicely and being respectful to them. Gee, I don't know. Maybe someone will feel more comfortable with you in the first place and want to get to know you. And what happens when someone wants to get to know you is that over time fosters intimacy. And if you're doing good things for them and making their life better, guess what? That helps foster intimacy anyway. Wow. Oh my God. It's like, hey, if you want other people to like you, be nice to them. Be good to them. Why? Just for the sake of being good to them. Not because, oh, I'm going to get something in return for it. If you're doing something coming from a place of expectation and then you don't get what you expect and then you lose your shit, well then guess what? You're not really that trustworthy, are you? Your stuff is a big fucking performance. It's not legit. So if you're not a legit person, no one's gonna want to be around that shit. Wow. If you're just doing good, nice things for the sake of doing good, nice things, and that's just who you are, then it's really easy to take an L. Because your sense of attachment isn't onto whether you win or not. Your sense of attachment is derived from, are you being good or nice? Which is always in your fucking control. Like, wow. Oh my gosh. Wow, being a nice person just because it's the nice thing to do? Wow, who would have thought people like that? People feel comfortable with that. What do nice people do? Well, gee, I don't know. They respect other people, and when someone says no, the nice thing to do is to respect that. Oh my gosh. Not to say, oh gosh, you're terrible. When you're not an entitled narcissist. Yeah. Well, I can't diagnose them with narcissism because everybody has certain narcissistic traits. But what I will say, though, comfortably, is when you're not fucking selfish. Wow, people like those who are not selfish. Wait, what? People people hate selfish people? No, that's not true. Wait, people will be nice to me if I am altruistic and selfless? Oh my gosh. Whoa, dude. And unfortunately, yes, I do have to express this to my clients. So I'm a lot of former clients anyway. My existing clients are not like this, but I have to give some of the clients that just like do not succeed. It's like, oh, they're just gonna double down on being selfish. I'm like, okay, well, good luck to you. Are religious people doing nice things bad faith since they're doing to please their God, not selflessly? I don't want to cast a I don't want to make a generalization. I think for me, what it really boils down to is whether someone is doing something because they're expecting a particular outcome. So it's like, oh, hey, I'm doing this because the only reason I'm doing this good behavior is because it'll get me into heaven. And then the real tell to see is like, that's concerning to me. Like the only thing from keeping you not from doing really terrible things is just the threat of, oh, heaven will be taken away from you. Like that's scary. But it's another thing if a religious person is like, well, I'm doing this because it's good to be a good person, and I know this will also please my God. Whether I get to heaven or not, that's up to God to decide. And I think it's the right thing to do. I like doing good things for humanity because it helps humanity. I'm like, okay, that's kind of trustworthy. They don't feel entitled to receive heaven. They might be like if they get into heaven, they'll be like, I earned it. Not like I was just fucking entitled. It's a big difference. I don't feel entitled to people's good favor for Neo. But have I earned it? Yeah. If I like don't get quote unquote what I deserve, I'm not gonna lash out at the community. I'm like, okay, well, sure it hurts or it sucks, but let me figure out what I can do. Or maybe after a long period of time, if I am outputting really high quality work that I've not only assured myself of, but have gotten feedback from people that I trust that are also very qualified, then I'll be like, maybe the community isn't for me. But I'm not going to demand the community worship my feet. I mean, like, dude, that's fucked up. So that's just kind of my thoughts on it, Wizard. Chicken burrito, you're saying, I think some people take the line just be yourself the wrong way. Yeah, I think people do. I think people can take it in a simplistic way. Because what if, so in my opinion, someone's identity, so I'll bring this up to identity. I link identity to two major things: cognition and behavior, right? Who I am depends on how I think about things, how I think about myself, what I think about life in general, just my thinking, and then, of course, my actions. So those are two very core determinants, in my opinion, about what identifies somebody. I can't... So cognition involves like my mindsets, my values, things like that, things I personally believe, like who I am type of deal. Like what matters to me, not necessarily who I am. But then what I do is also important. Because I could think all day long I'm great, but if I'm not actually doing great, then, you know, that kind of skewers the identity. To put it into perspective, for me to have an appropriate identity, if I'm a great Neo 3 player, I have to think like one, and I have to actually behave like one. So, but those mixed together, demonstrated over a long period of time, can give me the assurance that, oh, this is who I am at this moment in time. So now for the whole be yourself the wrong way, this all kind of falls apart if your cognition and your behavior sucks. So I cannot definitively say, hey, I'm going to be myself, I'm going to be the best Neo player ever, if I don't have the thinking that is appropriate of that, and if what I do doesn't suggest that either. Some of my incoming clients or former clients, these are the clients that usually do not succeed. And they don't succeed because of just like very obvious things. But they'll be like, oh, I'm going to be myself and I'm going to do toxic things. And like, bottom line, I'm like, wait, what if who you are sucks? What if everything you do shits all over everything and ruins everything? Like, is that being yourself going to be something you're going to be proud of? I would venture to say no. It's important to be honest with ourselves, but as I talked about before about being performative versus being authentic, honesty is only one of the ingredients in my mind. Honesty paired with growth makes it so much better. Like, that's it. So I change it from just be who you are today to try to practice and be who you want to be in the future. Practice that now. Develop that as best as you can today. And like, that's pretty much it. Practice, or as I think if Jax was here, or if Jax were to say something about this right now, he would probably say like, try to become the best version of yourself. Take feedback in stride, try to learn, understand it, how you can grow to become a better version of yourself. And just keep growing. That's all. That's how I would take the whole be yourself thing. Don't be who you are right now might suck, but the version of you want to be in the future could be great. Then work towards that. I'll put it another way. I don't really worry about just being myself as much as trying to grow who I am as much as I can. What can I learn today? And I keep doing that so much that like I'm not really concerned as much about who I am today. Like, it's useful information to know, but I'm more focused on how can I show up better for tomorrow? How can I do a little bit better? When I play Neo, I'm not concerned about like this finite sort of, hey, this is all the skills that I'll have for Neo and it's just going to be right here. I'm like usually trying to push the envelope. How can I get a little better? Like, that's it. Just keep growing, getting better, man. It's really about it. And keep trying to grow to the point that you don't not really like, I don't really focus that much on who I am today. Like, it'll be valuable to understand like what flaws I could have, but I'm like, nah, if I can get better and live a better life and feel more happiness and experience more sense of peace from what I do, then yeah, I'm not going to turn that shit down. Why would I? For Neo, if I can become a better player, I'm like, yeah, I'm hungry for that shit. That could be good. I'll like, it'll be more fun. Yeah, why would I turn down more fun? Win plays rivals. What's your question? While you type out your question, I'm gonna catch up with people on YouTube. I think having to seem selfless or to be selfless all the time is not going to work because others might just look at you and be like, oh, you're only doing this for good reputation. Honestly, my answer to that is who cares? Like, they do. But internally, I'm like, well, how someone sees me is less important compared to if I'm doing good. The reputation is just a nice little added bonus. Like, it's great. But the reputation isn't the point. The point of doing selfless acts would be to do selfless acts because they make lives better. But if you're doing selfless acts for reputation, then really it's a selfish thing if I want the reputation. That would be performative. Naturally, we would want God to love us, but that love has to be earned. Like, if I do a good thing for somebody in that moment, if in the forefront of my mind is, I'm doing this to get God to love me, that holds significantly less value. That's significantly less trust I can put in it compared to, oh, I'm doing this good person. Or if someone's doing a good deed for me because they care about me, they want to do good for me, they want to help me. Like, I'm going to trust that more than they're just doing it to please God. And as a kid, of course, when we're presented with like, hey, what's the point of doing good things then? It's an excellent question. Kids might think of more of like the quid pro quo stuff, but like on some level, I think kids do also understand the value of just doing good in the first place. And I think Wizard to help there, it could be, let's flip it. If I were to ask you, Wizard, why don't you do bad things to people? So, Wizard, like, do a bad thing to a person. Would you jump at that? Or would you say, well, no, I don't want to do a bad thing because I wouldn't want people to do bad things to me. Right, that goes in the direction of, I understand that doing bad things is a bad thing in general. So I'm just not going to fucking do it. I wouldn't like it if that happened to me. You'd be like, no, that's just bad. I shouldn't do that. I imagine that'd be kind of like your instinctual things as opposed to, oh, I don't do a bad thing because I don't want to go to, like, the reason I'm not doing bad things is just so I don't go to hell. Like, obviously, someone who doesn't do bad things probably won't go to hell. But that's not, I'm guessing that's not your instinct of like, oh, let me not kill somebody on the street because otherwise I'll go to hell. It's like, no, I just shouldn't do it because it's bad. Like, yeah, I'll go to hell as well, but it's just a bad thing. Like, you're not going to go out of you're not avoiding hurting your friend because you're necessarily worried about retribution per se. You aren't going to hurt your friend because, dude, you just don't do bad things to your friends. It's just who you are, it's just what you do. So in the same way for like your own friends or your own family, you do good things because it's nice. The act of in itself, the pleasure and the reasoning is already self-contained. Your identity is like, I'm going to do nice things for people that I care about and that I love. just for the sake of doing it, because I love and I care for them. I'm doing it because this is who I am. It's not because I'm fishing for some sort of outcome. It comes down to a core. Now, as a byproduct, who's more likely to get into heaven? Someone who genuinely cares for people, or someone who's just doing it as a fucking act? But if whatever action you do does help someone, then does it really matter what your intentions were? I would argue yes. And it's not so much like in the short term, if it's like a one-time thing, oh, I'm just doing this to buy someone's reputation. It's like, well, at least they help somebody. But Chicken Burrito points out an excellent point about not directly, and certainly not in the short term, but in the long run, people might become resentful if they feel like they didn't get what they deserved. Yeah. Like, I'm not going to complain if someone's doing something for a good purpose, but if I realize it's just a fucking act, I don't trust them. I do not trust them. And surprise, surprise, what usually happens with someone who's been performative for a while, and it is a bunch of bullshit, is they eventually flip the other way. I can't trust somebody who's being performative. That's just by definition. So it's kind of like this, right? Am I doing something because this is who I am? Am I doing something? Am I taking an action? Am I making a choice because that's just who I am? Or am I doing it to get what I want? To get something out of it? So am I taking the action for some sort of benefits? Personal benefit? Let's just say selfish benefit. Or am I doing it for the case of my own identity? Let's take the nice guy things. Stereotypical nice guy falls perfectly into this bullshit. Or into this bullshit. Perfectly falls into this. Not that this concept is bullshit. They will say a lot. They will say all sorts of flowery language, right? Why? Hey, that is a nice thing, isn't it? They're being really nice. Super nice. And they can see, like, the woman is, like, feeling, like, appreciated or whatever. And the nice guy's, like, going out of his way or whatever. And then you come to realize he's really just doing it to get sex. And you're like, okay, that's already fucked up. And then and then the woman will say, no, I don't want to. Then what happens is this is gone. And then all the actions drop. I can't trust that shit. He's not doing it because that's who he is. He's doing it because he's trying to get something. And then, like, right after doing all the good, supposedly good things, it just goes into, like, flip-flops. And so it's all this vile shit and whatever. Because, like, I was entitled to this. I deserve this. I resent you for it. I'm a kush. Women, crazy bitches. I'm like, okay, it was full of shit. I'm not gonna trust it. Now, someone who's just being nice for the sake of being nice, like, they're not really concerned about reputation per se or being told no. The intention definitely matters, for sure. And like, I can't trust somebody who isn't doing something just because that's who they are. It's a part of them. As Jax is mentioning, like, are you doing good in the name of good, or are you doing the good in service of yourself? Are you doing it because that's who you are, or are you doing it to get something out of it? If this is your orientation, it definitely falls apart. We could take a generous act. Feels like it can be both. I don't know. Do explain. While you're saying that, you're saying you've also said even if someone is being performative for reputation, if he does good things, then I say go for it. Sure, if I know it's an act, I might judge them. Which is the interesting part, no? They're trying to develop a reputation, but even what you said, you don't even buy it. You're like, go ahead, do the good things, but I'm still not going to give you the benefit of boosting your reputation. Because you're doing it for your reputation. Like, great, you give $1 million to charity, great. Cool, you give it every year, fantastic. I still think it's fucking, like, and you're doing it for to have everybody think you're great. Yeah, but even then, because you're doing it for a reputation, I do not trust the merits of this action in and of itself. So ironically, even though that person says doing it for a reputation, you even say you wouldn't even give it to them. But the flip side would be, hey, if someone is just doing something because giving $1 million to charity because it's something they like to do, and they don't mind if someone thinks of them as shit, ironically, you would probably think of them as like pretty genuine. Be like, oh, I think I kind of like them. They give to charity, and they're not doing it to like get clout with the media or anything. You can trust that. I 100% think our intentions matter. 100%. And now for the case of my clients, being performative is like, they've already demonstrated that they are untrustworthy. So they have zero room to do this shit. Not that anyone does, in my opinion. But they even have less margin of error to be selfish. And on average, from my experience, those who opt to just do things for selfish purposes just cannot be trusted. Because more often than not, when they aren't getting the selfish benefit, they either take away their action or they do an action which is like counterproductive. Stereotypical nice guys work really well here. I won't do the nice things anymore because I can't have sex. Time to be a complete asshole. And then, oh, actually, let me try to be nice again. It's like, no, I don't trust you at this point. With your charity example, maybe that rich person is genuinely good, but when they donate, they also get a reputation boost. Are they selfish now? So the intention is what determines that, in my view. The action in of itself. So like the giving the $1 million to charity, to me, the intent behind it is what determines whether they're being selfish. So if their purpose is, hey, I get a I get to help people, and like, and you know, if they're like, yeah, it'll be cool if I get a reputation boost. But if their intent is, hey, I just want to help people, and they so happen to get a reputation boost, good for them. That doesn't mean they're selfish. But if you were to take away the selfish benefit, let's say the benefit was, hey, they don't, let's say they donate, but they don't get a reputation boost, would they still do it? If their answer is no, then it's like, okay, this is selfish. The reputation boost could be nice. It's like a nice to have, but it's not the core of it. If they're doing it for a selfish benefit and you take away that benefit entirely and then they don't do the action, I distrust it. I do not think their intentions are good. Would that rich person give money anyway, even if they got no reputation boosts? Or maybe the reputation went down. Would they still think that, hey, me giving to this cause that I believe in is a good thing? If it's transactional, then no, I think they're being selfish. I do not trust them. If the streamer doesn't give you a shout out when you donate, will you still do it? This is a good point. Something like that, yeah. And again, the intent behind the donation in that case would be important. Like in the context of streamers and viewers and, you know, viewer donos and whatever, that's a little different because it is very much a purchase for something. But if someone keeps donating for the purpose of, hey, I just want to get a shout out without being explicit about it, one, which would be weird. But it's like, okay, if you're doing, then you're giving me money to the shout out. So, but if you're going to claim that I'm doing it to support you, but really you're doing it for the shout out, then obviously I'm not going to trust you. But the thing is, with say some people I've worked with, they're trying to say, hey, they're trying to claim I'm coming from this place, but really they're coming from this place. So, Wizard, it's okay to think about the benefits. It's okay, like that's okay. I'm not saying you never get anything out of it. But I'll take me, for example. I've made it very clear to Cass. I obviously would like to reconcile with her. She has said no. For many months, if not years now. Now, does that change how I treat her? No. Because I'm coming from this place. I don't have an ink of resentment towards her for that. I'm like, well, yeah, no fucking shit. You did divorce me. I am the ex-husband who was emotionally abusive to you that you didn't trust. And this is going to take a long ass fucking time. I know that. It's fine. I understand why you would reject me and why you wouldn't give me this benefit. I don't really, like, it's immaterial to me though. I'm still going to be nice and kind anyway. I'm still going to help her out. So if she's like, hey, actually, I'm interested in somebody else, yes, I'll be sad, but I'll be like, okay, but that doesn't really change what I do. I'm still going to be nice. Even if I never get my benefit. Never. I'm still going to try to be as nice as possible. I'm still going to try to be honest to her. I'm still going to try to help her. No matter what happens, I want her to be happy and strong. So I have to actually prove that literally, no matter what happens, I want her to be a healthy, strong, like, independent woman, self-actualized. Like, am I actually, like, that's my motivation. Now, she doesn't trust it, obviously. And so she's very much just like, I don't want to deal with you type of deal sometimes. I'm like, okay, I respect that. Now, Like, obviously, like, me being nice to her obviously gives me some benefit in the long run, but there's no guarantee that will occur, right? But I know in the back of my mind, like, obviously maybe me doing things that would make someone feel loved and happy and thrive. Like, it's a pretty simple recipe. I'm like, okay, I mean, that works. So yeah, it's in the back of my mind, but for me, it's so far in the back of my mind, I like forget about it. For me, if anything, I'm like, oh yeah, well, me doing all these good things will eventually lead to some benefits anyway. But like, it's not really the point anymore. The point is just doing this. Why do I treat Cass nicely? Because I love and I care for her. What do I want more than anything? What would actually be the benefit to me is just seeing her be happy. Seeing her be strong, because she's been through a lot, and I care for her. So I just want the best for her. If I can not only demonstrate that I'm internally coming from that place and externally providing that to her consistently, in my mind, I'd be like, well, I'm sure she'll be receptive to that. After all, don't people just want to have really good, happy lives where they feel like they're living life to the fullest? I mean, I know I do. So if I can provide that to someone I love and I care about at a level that is just so beautiful, then kind of game winning. So all it did, it was just cement my conviction for doing this even further. I'm like, well, yeah, it's like a no fucking brainer. I'm like, yeah, no shit, dude. Wow. You want someone to be nice to you? Be nice to them. Oh, but they're being mean to me, so I'm gonna be mean back to them. I'm like, okay, so this is transactional for you. So are you really a nice person? Or are you just in this camp? And just kind of goes from there. It's okay to want attention. Like, it's okay for me to want to be remarried to Cass, but I don't drop who I am because I'm not getting what I want. That's kind of the big tell. Of course I think about the benefits, but I don't need to think. I think about it, like I said, very infrequently. My sole focus and concern is whether my actions lead to this. And the benefits aren't so much for me, but it's more like, look, if I really, really want this, the priority should be me giving Cass what she wants, what she needs, helping her out, making her life better. Give her value, bro, and then she'll probably give you value back. And charity house. I went from, hey, I got kicked out back in 2022 to I'm living here now with her in 2026. We play games together. I live with her. We hang out together. We do all sorts of crazy shit. And it's fun. I'm like, yeah, this is nice. I'm already getting what I want. Now that I get what I want, I also have a choice to make. Do I keep doing this? If the answer is yes, then it's more trustworthy. For me, either way, whether I'm getting what I want or I don't get what I want, I'm like, I just keep this output going. I do what I do because that's who I am, not because I'm trying to get something out of it. When I get something out of it, great, cool. That's really nice. I guess it proves on some level that what I'm doing is good and helpful, so go down this rabbit hole of fun. For someone who's doing something for themselves, when you pull back the layers, you see the real person. They're here for a good time, not a long time. Right. So when you do Neo 3 Academy videos, you would think both of you wanting to help people in the obvious channel reputation boost, you'd naturally want both. I mean, don't get me wrong, I want the channel reputation boost, but truth be told, my bigger focus is on creating good quality stuff for people that I want to. Right now, when it comes to my output of Neo 3 Academy videos, one of the reasons is that I'm not motivated. I'm not very motivated in making them. I'm not going to just do it for a reputation boost, because, like, me wanting to help people falls into this category. The reputation boost that could come with it could be great. But I'm not going to make the Neo 3 Academy for a channel reputation boost or just for money. I've done that shit before. It sucks. It's not sustainable. And rather than me like lying to myself that, oh, I'll be so happy if I get this, it's like, no, it's gonna suck. I need to actually enjoy the process of making those videos, and I don't, so I just like do not do it. And I've been recently struggling with just like making videos in the process in an enjoyable way. I make clips, but like I've just been largely removed from it. So you're calling out all the content creators not rushing their Neo 3 guides for their boosts? I mean, they're doing it for a job. They're doing it for this. In terms of me feeling like, oh, they really genuinely love Neo and that's just who they are, I don't buy it. But they're not going for that. It would feel weird to me if every interaction with people is like doing a trade. Yeah. It would feel weird. Yeah, it's not like, right, I'm not treating my family better because I want them to take care of me. It's like, well, we'd hope they take care of you, but I mean, they're your family. For you, it's like, bro, that's just what you do with your family. I mean, look at me with the whole like Ninja Gaiden 4 review video. The process of me creating it was fucking miserable. And yeah, like I got some views out of it, but holy shit, it sucked. Same thing with Twitch Partner. Me having the output for everything to do with Twitch just like fizzled once I got Partner. Because I wasn't doing it because that's what I enjoyed. I was doing it to get Twitch Partner. Even when I made Twitch Partner, like I like crashed. Because I was like, dude, I just like burned out 2-3 months of my life doing something I really didn't enjoy. I don't want to do this again. This sucks. So then I don't do it. So you obviously can't trust my output for what I did back early in Twitch days. You can't trust like, hey, I'm going to make the Neo 3 Academy soon. Because I don't have that intrinsic motivation for it. That's independent of external factors. That's a missing piece. Like, imagine this, Wizard. If I was going to say, yo, man, I'm going to make the Neo 3 Academy and get it done. Actually, let me worry about that later. You got a new point. I have a hard time trusting religious people who preach and tell you what to do when they're being contradictory themselves and have ulterior motives anyway. Yeah, exactly. They're not actually... They're not even taking the actions. They're being hypocritical. So obviously if someone isn't taking the actions, then you can trust that they're full of it. Right. So, and it is interesting. You trust a non-religious person because they're not doing it. Like, they're more likely than not doing it for these purposes. It's easier to trust, in my view, it's easier to trust somebody who's doing something not just because they're trying to get something, but because that's just who they are. That's really all it boils down to. It's okay to get things. It's okay to want things. But that being the only motivator, in fact, even the primary motivator, is the recipe for disaster. If it's an external thing, something outside of her control, if that's her motivator, and then that just vanishes, I can't trust that. That motivational circuit is actually quite important. Let me get that out. Let's see if I can get perfect. Thank you, Jax. Appreciate it. So I'm right now looking at the state. Right now, what I have up here is an article from the National Library of Medicine. It's a government thing. I more or less trust the NIH for this. This is referred to as a stages of change theory. I think this is very, very valuable. And I think this directly ties into what we're talking about right now in terms of whether you can trust someone in the first place. A lot of my clients go through this journey. I have as well, and it's pretty important. So let's take my clients, all right? Because this whole like kind of lesson I'm talking about here applies into determining whether someone has changed. So bear in mind, on average, the people I've worked with are pretty toxic. So I'll read this out. So we have the stages of change theory. The factors that influence behavioral change have been widely studied, yet one model continues to serve as the benchmark. The trans-theoretical model, with its clear stepwise approach, provides a straightforward framework for understanding human behavior and the process of change. So there are 5 stages: pre-contemplation, contemplation, preparation, action, and maintenance. So this TTM model has become like super applied, great, and really helps with basically any addiction. Smoking, alcohol abuse, addiction, weight control, exercise acquisition, sunscreen use, condom use, school bullying, and preventative measures. Wow, okay. I didn't realize it went that far. So let's put this in context with my clients. Clients are usually have promised their partners they'll do anything and everything to change, right? Or that's something like that. But for the longest time, they're not even at that stage. Usually, well before they're facing divorce and whatnot, they're in what is referred to as the pre-contemplative stage. And I'm sure as soon as I describe some of this stuff, y'all be like, dude, I know plenty of people like this. Ooh, I think I popped a zit. Okay, so pre-contemplation, the first stage, involves unmotivated individuals who see no need to seek a solution to a problem because they typically believe or do not believe a problem exists. Individuals in this stage are unaware of or have limited awareness of the problem or lack insight into the consequences of their negative addictive behavior. This patient's response is atypical, as most people acknowledge their adverse behaviors. It is important to recognize that a person at this stage is in complete denial and may even defend their actions. People in this stage often present as resistant, unmotivated, unready, and unwilling to change. Furthermore, this individual often fixates on the negative aspects of change rather than recognizing the benefits they would gain. In other words, the cons outweigh the pros. Am I still bleeding? Should a pre-contemplator present for therapy? Oh, hold on. Oh, I think I still am bleeding. I'll be right back, guys. See you later. What if I have perfect awareness but just choose not to do anything about it? Well, then you qualify for this. But usually the awareness makes a big difference. So, continuing on, should a pre-contemplator present for therapy, it is likely due to constant pressure from others in their life who are pushing them to seek help. At times, they may even exhibit elements of change, provided the external pressure remains constant. If that pressure to change is no longer present, pre-contemplators quickly return to their old habits. How does one progress to the next stage of change when there is no consideration of recognizing a problem in the first place? So then there's a bunch of things. I'm sure you guys have met people who are doing pretty problematic things and you're like, bro, you need help, but then they fucking do nothing. You feel like you have to be responsible for them changing, but they just like won't do it on their own. They fall into this. People who are in denial. Are screwed. So how does one go from thinking they don't need to change at all to actually deciding, oh, they actually need to change? This is where you might have heard of some people saying, hey, change needs to come from within. You can't change another person. People have to want to change. And some of my clients, at least the ones that fail, cooked. Oh, God. So people that are in denial fall into this very heavily. But usually what happens is, what can happen to get them out of this stage is, one, if they can become more self-aware of what they're doing, that helps. Now, in the case of my clients, what usually happens is their life circumstances are changing. Their partners are leaving them after like 25 years. And they're like, they found somebody else and they want a divorce and they want their partners out of the house or whatever. So life circumstances now are causing them to realize something's got to change. But usually what can happen is, as mentioned before here, they're feeling the external pressure. But eventually that external pressure can be gone, right? So with my clients, for example, so trying to take this back here, I can't get my benefit anyway. So I'm going to stop doing the things, I'm going to stop doing this. Or, I got my benefit, I don't feel the pressure anymore, I stop doing this. It's all external. So if they're in this stage, they're fucked. Now here's the interesting thing. People in this, so until they get that, when people enter a new stage of life, they tend to critically evaluate their behaviors and consider whether those behaviors serve them and around them positively. Until they gain such insight, an individual remains in the pre-contemplation stage and continues to engage in harmful behaviors. People in this stage have no intention of making a change in the next 6 months and often make comments like, I don't see a problem with what I'm doing, so there's no reason to change. So Chicken Burrito, that individual, he's like, bro's cooked. Probably falls into this. That person, that individual, most likely has experienced many adverse life circumstances courtesy of their behavior. I mean, I kicked him out. I'm like, dude, stop. And then instead, it was like, no, it's not a me, it's you thing. And just like, it was just annoying as shit and toxic. So I'm like, all right, bye, get out. Do I anticipate that person will self-reflect? No, I don't. But until they do, they're going to adopt this denial and they're screwed. So any clients, if they're stuck in here, they're screwed no matter what. No matter what. And there's a lot of people who stay stuck in here. And half of the stuff that I try to do is try to encourage them to self-reflect. I can't give therapy, I'm not qualified to do so. But I encourage them to self-reflect. Self-reflection and self-awareness is incredibly important. When I started to understand When I started to understand, oh shit, what I am doing is not only bad, but it's like bad by my own sense of values. It doesn't even serve me, and it certainly didn't serve Cass positively. In fact, it did fucking the opposite. It was at that point where I started to think like, bro, who cares about the external pressure? Whether or not Cass and I reconcile is an irrelevant point. I am personally fucked up. So I got out of this pretty quickly once I recognized that. I was like, nope, doesn't matter. External pressure is irrelevant at this point. So that leads to the second stage, which is contemplation. This is marked by awareness and acknowledgement of problematic behavior with serious consideration to change. However, now here's the interesting thing. However, the person is uncertain whether the problem behavior warrants correction. I was in this stage too. Therefore, this internal approach avoidance conflict results in a lack of commitment to taking the necessary steps towards change. Once again, not a full acceptance that their behavior is fucked up. Notice how I said, bro, my shit is really bad. Who cares about things externally? In contemplation, the problem sits center stage, but the actor never moves. So as we were saying earlier, hey, what if I'm aware, but I just don't need to change it, right? Boom, right here. What if I have the perfect awareness, but choose not to do anything about it? Yeah, chances are you don't really think it needs correction. The ambivalence and indecisiveness characteristic of this stage leads individuals to remain in contemplation for at least 6 months, or as you were saying, Wizard, years-long contemplators. Should I change something? I don't know. Maybe. It's not really good, but it's not really that bad. I don't know, man. It's all right. They make, in general, people at this stage are more open to receiving information about their behavior and to finding solutions to address it. They may make comments such as, I know I have a problem and I think I should do something about it. This behavior is also known as chronic contemplation or behavioral procrastination. Pretty big. So yeah, it's kind of like, I don't know, like there could be something wrong, but we should stop procrastinating starting tomorrow. Many people have the victimhood mindset, so they make excuses to not change. Yeah, which is why I try to help people who are selfish get out of this whole like victim mindset shit. It's like, wait, you're the offender and somehow you're the victim at the same time? Like, it's pretty pathetic. Like, this is where the client, like, I've worked with clients who are like, oh god, I have to use this example. 2 people I'm thinking about. I'll take one where this woman was like, oh my gosh, my husband's leaving me. Oh no, like it's awful. And I'm like, okay, why? And it's like, well, I cursed them out for like 5 straight months. I'm like, are you fucking serious? Wait, what? Wait. You cursed them out and broke down your spouse for 5 straight months. And now you're complaining they're leaving you. Hold up. Help it make sense. Oh my gosh, they're abandoning me. I'm like, you just shat over the love of your life, self-esteem. For 5 straight months. You're aware of it. But you're screaming victim here? Rather than like owning up to your shit and trying to make it better for them and being understanding towards them, I'm like, you're screwed if you go down this route. And then they're like, oh my gosh. I'm like, all right. Or one person who I've talked about this other person before, they got their spouse incarcerated, accidentally, mind you. And then they were upset their spouse didn't want to talk to them in the present. Did she also blame him and say, but he promised till death do us apart? Yeah, that's the thing. Clients will say shit like that. Like, we promised to stick to together no matter what. Like, the sense of entitlement is just staggering. Yeah, the consequence of my actions. Yeah, oh my gosh, they're leaving me and they want to like have sex with other people. Oh my gosh. Like, I got them put in jail and they don't talk to me. I'm the best though. See, some other person gives me attention. It's only they're the problem. Why aren't they coming back to me? I'm like, oh my god. I'm like, you got a lot of like. I'm like, all right, clearly you've got some trauma. Got to address that because you can't even show up to the conversations to work with things. I'm getting tired working with you as a coach. I'm like, I cannot begin to imagine what your spouse, who has felt significantly more pain than me, has. Like, I get why your spouse is leaving you, basically. And they're like, no, it's not fair. So that victim mindset, it's flaring off in the wrong space. I'm like, okay, yes, I get it, you were abused, but that's a separate thing compared to this. Like, if you recognize you're having childhood trauma infecting you and fucking you up, go fix that shit. And they're like, no, I don't need to though, or I'll do it when my spouse doesn't leave me. I'm like, okay. I'm like, this isn't genuine then. No, like, of course he's not gonna trust it. Even if it's not fair, what are you going to do about it? Well, this particular individual will do anything and everything to try to get something. This person like started dating somebody else. Well, my spouse is going to go have an affair, so I will too. And I'm going to complain and I'm going to just deny and whatever. I'm going to keep crashing out. Well, yeah. What happens when they see their efforts aren't working? Well, then they shrink and then they give up and they go in like up and down cycles. Like, I get so crazy I just give up. I'm sad. It's not working. Oh, woe is me. Life is so hard. I'm like, these are the consequences of your actions. Oh my god. Like, it's pretty cringe. Not even gonna lie. It's like, okay, like, if you fucked up, own up to it and fix it as best as you can and work at it as long as it takes. You do that, people will kind of trust you over time. Oh, but they don't believe me. I'm like, yeah, because look at your track record. Oh my gosh, it's so hard. I'm gonna do the toxic things once again because when I do good things, no one believes me. They don't trust me right away. Oh my gosh. It's like laughable. So even in those moments with these clients, their reasons for change fall into external reasons. It's not a true belief, a true conviction they need to change. They're not even in this stage, the next stage, continuum, of which is a preparation stage. At this point in the change process, the person can readily acknowledge that behavior is problematic and commit to correcting it. There's now an acknowledgement that the benefits of changing behavior outweigh the drawbacks. People begin gathering information from various sources, such as self-help books, counseling, change-oriented programs, as they develop a plan of action. Gathering information is a vital step in preparation. If bypassed, individuals tend to plan insufficiently without thoughtfully considering the impact of the change in their lives. As such, they may stumble when challenges arise and relapse often becomes inevitable. Often appropriate planning is completed. People tend to act within the next 30 days and typically have taken behavioral steps towards the end over the past year. It is common for people in this stage to make comments such as, smoking is a bad habit. I've been reading about different ways to quit, and even though I haven't totally quit yet, I'm smoking less than I did before. I recently hit this stage when it came to time management because I started, like, I've not been the best with time management, but I've never really understood the impacts on it severely enough
And until like I remember I got cast like 2-3 minutes late. I think I talked about this before. And then I realized, wait a minute. In terms of who I want to be and the benefits I want to provide to her, me being 2-3 minutes late is really fucking bad. And I remember it was like 2 events, and I'm like, shit. Like, I want to be early for her like all the time now because of all the benefits it will create. And I want to do that for like my own internal reasons. She's not going to trust me, but that's like an irrelevant detail. I'm like, I just want to show up well for the sake of showing up well and what I can provide to her. So my brain was just like, I don't even know what the fuck to do and how to do it, but like, I need to figure this shit out. So then I try to learn and I'm trying to understand, and I have my own counselors, as I've talked about, where I'm trying to deal with all of the things that could screw me over when it comes to time management. So at first, when I was like, I remember this hit me like within a day. Like this hit me like the first day. I started like going crazy with like being efficient about so many things. Then I didn't plan it well. And then I felt a burnout. I was like, fuck, man, if I do it this is the consequences it has to me. I need to figure out a much more long-term perspective towards this. And then slowly over time, I'm like, all right, a little change here, I can sustain that. And it's been getting easier over time. Trying to plan out like all sorts of things, which is paying off dividends over time. So now I'm like, dude, so as per this statement, I think I fall into this. That's what you should have told Cass. But honey, if you're late, they're the most important and the center of attention. Oh God. Did you deal with crazy toxic people who will text F you and love you, babe, back to back? Yeah, those are usually the clients that can be incoming and their emotions are just like, they're flip-flopping all the time. But the thing is, the people that I'm willing to work with, just to be transparent, there's no point if like I can't work with somebody who's in this stage, in the pre-contemplation stage. This is like, because basically all I'm trying to do is convince them they need to change, but that's external pressure. And I've kind of learned that like, all right, for someone to want to change on their own, they need to find internal reasons. So I have to frame my dialogue, even when I'm coaching them, to recognize whether they need to change in the first place. I can't make them change. That's just not going to work. Instead, I need to improve their awareness, ask them certain questions, and then for them to basically come face to face with the consequences of their own behavior. Not because I say so, not because their partners are saying so, but because they're like, there is something awful about it, for them to get out of that denial. I have not had the most success with some clients like that, truth be told. They're not even here. Usually I mean, my mom did something similar, beat the shit out of me, then hug me and cry with me. Yeah, chicken, that shit's messed up. And I imagine for you it's like, what the fuck is happening? Can't trust it. So you mentioned usually most men come to you pre-contemplated and usually women are contemplated. Based on the populations I've worked with, yeah. Abuser level and then try to be extra nice the next moment. Yeah. It's messed up. Yeah, I like generally the women that I've worked with, they're already past this. They're like, yeah, I need a change. And they might have struggles, but more often than not, they're pretty committed. And if they're in this, like when they're in this stage, and if they're already in the space of like, hey, I'm trying to learn and like I'm struggling and I need help and I need to be prepared. If they're already in like the information hungry mode, then it's so much easier. It's someone who's in denial that they need to change anything about themselves whatsoever. It's not someone I can help because they're not even going to be willing to learn. So they're screwed. The clients that I work with that are successful are definitely in these stages. They're in the action stage and we'll get to the maintenance stage. So during the action stage, change happens. Total abstinence from the adverse behavior is an expectation for a period of fewer than 6 months. At this stage, people gain confidence because they believe they have the willpower to continue the process of change. They continue to review the importance of behavioral change while evaluating their commitment to themselves. People in this stage are willing to receive assistance and support. Providing short-term positive reinforcement such as rewards sustains motivation. Considering potential hurdles and developing plans to counteract triggers that may lead to relapse is essential. During this stage, the most overt behavioral changes are acknowledged by the individual and by others. However, the visible changes found in this stage should not be mistakenly equated with the only components of change. Often, people mistakenly associate change solely with action, thereby foregoing the prerequisite work required to effect a behavioral change. Prematurely advancing to this stage without adequate preparations leads to difficulties. An example of a statement made by an individual in the action stage would be, "It's easy to say you'll quit smoking, but I'm doing something about it. I haven't smoked a cigarette in 6 months." This is where I find one of my clients to this day, where they're having a lot of problems. They're trying to change, but coming up with hurdles. And so it's like, and there's lots of questions to help make sure there is an easier, more adequate, an easier way for them to keep growing and keep changing. So this is where it's like mini relapses happen sometimes. So this is where a lot of work can be done. So the clients, they consistently come to me because they want help and they want to do things and they're trying to like create better. And so there are certain hurdles that, like with some of the more struggling clients, they might go from here, from action, go back to like needing to prepare more. As I've said, they're usually here. So like one of the clients I'm working with, there are certain challenges that occur and then a relapse occurs, but then usually like discussing it and trying to help her like grow through it is very important too. But I'm willing to work with this individual because he keeps slowly going into a better and better direction. Like I said, prematurely advancing to this stage without adequate preparation leads to difficulties. So what I try to do, again, is just try to help this person become more prepared, understand how to deal with certain things over time, and then they're in good shape, and then it can make it more permanent, which starts to lead towards the final stage of the maintenance stage, or I think. Continuing the new behavior change is the focus of the maintenance stage. Here, individuals have maintained total abstinence from the adverse behavior for more than 6 months. As people progress through this stage, they become more confident in their ability to sustain positive lifestyle changes and are less tempted or fearful of relapse. They can maintain a new status quo and just remind themselves of their progress. At times, they may have thoughts of returning to old habits. However, they resist the temptation and remain on track because of the positive strides they made. People become skilled and anticipating potential triggers that may result in relapse and have constructed coping strategies to combat these situations in advance. Typically, individuals remain in this stage for more than 6 months or 5 years. A longitudinal study from, a report showed that after a year, 43% returned to their smoking habit. So still got to be vigilant. However, it was not until reaching the 5 mark of abstinence that risk for relapse dropped to 7. Individuals in this stage require support as they reevaluate their reasons for change, acknowledge the success they've made thus far, and consider the potential triggers for relapse, and subsequently create contingency plans to try to avoid relapse. So, still got to be vigilant, but more and more over time, as you make the lifestyle change more a part of who you are, the risk starts to go down lower and lower and lower. The ultimate goal is to, basically maintain that change, right? No relapse, maintain sobriety. So there's a lot more to say about this. But yeah, there's a lot. I won't read the whole thing because it's a bunch. But it's pretty valuable. So, but before the biggest thing though, that I bring up this article, and this talks about a lot of stages of change here, and I won't go through the whole theory. I'm kind of I've kind of spoken a lot. Yeah, there's a lot of words. But the main takeaway that I want some of you guys to have here is that no matter what, to actually create the change, you can't change other people. The change has to come from within. So the preparation stage says therapists can milk the most money out of their clients. Ah, yes, exactly. So, as per the article, the risk of relapsing goes down to 7% after 5 years for smoking. All right. I've been trying to change myself and grow myself significantly over the last 4 years. But I'm at the point where I'm like, dude, I don't really, the time is immaterial at this point. I just want to keep getting better. That's really about it. I never want to relapse. Never. So I've talked about a porn addiction. I haven't consumed porn for. So you're only 1 year away and then you can relax? No. That's related to termination, the final stage. I'd like to have that, but it is difficult to achieve. It describes a period with zero temptation or relapse and the attainment of 100% self-efficacy. Although this level of success rarely accompanies addictive behaviors, example of this can be seen in everyday life when individuals buckle the seatbelts as soon as they enter a car, or when individuals take their medications at the same time every day. Certain factors are required to assist with stage progression. Right. I kind of have this now, like almost have this now for when it comes to flossing. I never used to floss. Then I would only brush, I never used to floss, and I would only brush my teeth once a day. But then in some conversations with one of my dentists, and I learned a bunch about what the benefits were for me specifically through some of my questions. About like, hey, why should I brush my teeth at night? And then after having a conversation, I came to realize, wait a minute, it'd actually be cleaner to brush my teeth at night, only at night, than it would be to brush my teeth only in the morning. And I was like, wait, what? Really? I'm like, that's gross. I'm like, I'd be going throughout the whole day with gross feeling teeth. Yeah, I fucking hate that. But you're saying when I go to bed, my teeth, I experience more tooth decay at night than in the day, and then like I imagine what it'd feel like. I'm like, oh no, okay, I'm brushing my teeth most of the times, and so I've mostly kept that up. I think I forget how many months, but it's been now. But I think like in the past few months, the only time I haven't brushed my teeth twice is like when I was dehydrated and fell asleep, and I was like, shit. So, but yeah, like for the most part, I am just like, all right, brush my teeth twice a day, floss twice a day. And it feels very, very weird for me not to do it. It feels very gross. And I'm like trying to automate it in my system that like pretty much no matter what, I'll do that. Now, in the grand scheme of things, is fucking up like with brushing my teeth that big of a deal? No. But for like one night, no. But I treat it very seriously so that I don't. But yeah, for every like messed up tendency that I have, I want to hit this. I want it to be gone. So for that reason, I'm like, I'm just gonna go to therapy to work through whatever shit I have because I want it out and gone. I want to work through this stuff that has been running my life and then caused me to behave in ways that was terrible. I want all that gone, all of it. So naturally, I need a replacement for all of it, which is what I've been building over time. No gawky business. Depends if you eat breakfast, I get. I mean, I guess, but I found a reason that I could stick to that I would make me want to change, so I do. It's an internal thing, as opposed to the dentist saying it's good for you, or as opposed to other people saying, well, I just don't like your breath, which I could easily write off as like could be a you thing, or any external reason. I found an internal one. I'm good to go. So that's why when I try to encourage people to consider changing, I don't do it from, hey, these are my values, you follow them. It's very much, what is your internal compass? Let's see if what you're doing satisfies your internal compass and is something you would personally approve of and be proud of. If not, well, then you decide if you want to basically debase yourself. You saw a huge bumblebee? Nice. But when it comes to my clients, they have to do things because that's who they are. Otherwise, they can't sustain it. I just ate a bowl of garlic. My coworker definitely felt that. Some people's internals compass is broken. Yeah, and they need to face it. But if they choose not to face it, then they're screwed. I was gonna try to bring up stuff. Let's see, I got a little bit of time. Just a bowl of garlic with dumplings. So here, I'll bring up one person. All right. So here, this guy would fit in with clients. So this is from Reddit. Okay, let me zoom in. Forget where it was. Okay. This guy is. So here's the thing. This guy, I think, is still in like the pre-contemplative, contemplative stage. But I don't think he has the means to enact some serious change. Or rather, change that could be helped. So I think I'm not so certain. But in any case, this person has been spiraling the fuck out of control. Let's just take a look at his posts, all right? I forget where I tried to assist. Oh, wait, no, it wasn't this guy. Let me find somebody else real quick, guys. I think I talked about this before. I don't remember. All right, I'll try to give 2 posts, one from a guy and one from a woman. uh All right, this will work really well. Okay, good. Yeah, you caught that wizard. The dude's like, I'm gonna kill myself just so it would hurt her. And I'm like, bro, you don't see that this is fucked up? And he's like, yeah, I know I fucked up, whatever. And like, it looks like he's gonna go for therapy, which I've kind of advised him to anyway. I'm like, bro, I'm worried about you. Like, you can like go get help. And like when I saw that guy, I'm like his post, and I was just thinking, like, dude, this is how you act now. I cannot imagine what it was like being married to you, dude. I'm like, oh no. Okay, let's bring up this, okay? So I typically go on divorce subreddits. You can see kind of here. Also, fuck Reddit sometimes. Also, I checked out, like, they randomly recommended this to me or something on my home feed. I'm like, I don't really care. My boyfriend is AI is just sad. I got curious. So file first or no, this individual. Is there any major benefit to me filing first in a no-fault state? And basically it's like, I want my soon-to-be ex-husband to struggle. And then like, yeah, I want him to suffer, right? Like, I think he's having an affair. He sucks in certain ways. And he says all these things, and like, I fucking hate him, basically. And like, ugh. And I'm just thinking, like, and just look at how reasonable this response was. All right. So here we go. Personally speaking, I'd file to just be done with the drama. Having my sense of self get warped by another person is just something I want to get away from. I'd be straight business about it too, let him flail and do whatever. Wanting petty revenge can feel great in the short term, but it just tends to hurt me in the long run. It's like I'm hoping they'll recognize the error of their ways, but they won't, and I'm just wasting my time over someone who does not deserve it. And then I say, if you want to indulge in the pettiness, and I don't blame you for that, then filing first means you will have to start doing things fast and likely have to scramble to adapt. That could be fun to witness for a bit. You can go and live your life while he can enjoy his karma. Notice, she was like wanting to be petty. And then all of a sudden she's like, yeah, you're right. Thanks for the check. I do love me some pettiness, but you're right. He's not going to think he did anything wrong until way later, way after I've moved that on. And then I won't care even in the least. This woman who was like wanting to go full petty about like making your ex-husband's life. She's like, yeah, I kind of see what you're saying. And then she's like, fuck it. Let me not go the drama route. Let me just do what needs to be done. Yes, it's stressful for me, but yeah. I see your perspective. Contrast, like, she is obviously in an emotional state because she has all this anger and resentment. She like hates him. But then she's like, but the impression I get is very much just let me not deal with this emotional shit and let me just go straight business and like let me take action. It's like overall very mature compared to what I will show you from a guy. All right. It's like, how do I accept she's never coming back? Been divorced for 2 months and she will still answer if I need, but she's told me multiple times she no longer loves me. How do I accept she's gone and that the last 7 years meant nothing? So already I get this impression of this isn't just an emotional thing internally. This is like he's bombarded her and be like, why don't you want to come back to me? And she's like, we're divorced. I don't love you anymore. How fucking hard is that for you to understand? And he's like, oh my gosh, no. And so I'm trying to get him to think. And I'm like, here's what's helped me. All right, here's what's helped me. It's pretty nice. So in the spirit of helping you, what are some reasons she gave that made her fall out of love with you? What did she communicate to you? I'm trying to get him to ask questions, trying to get him to be curious. And then he's like, I push her away towards the end. She detached mentally. And what I'm going through now. She was going through months before divorcing me, which, yes, I believe is true. However, in the end, I tried everything I could do to save the marriage. Already a pivot. Already a pivot to like, yeah, I did all these bad things, but then it should have made up for it because I did everything I could, right? No questioning about like, did he add it? Like really, he's saying, but I did everything I could. I'm like, okay, but I'm thinking like, did you do the right things? And then a woman responds, I think the take is to dig in. Why didn't you care or act sooner so you can feel like you won't make that mistake again? This woman is trying to help. No, not did he, but did he? Whatever. And then interesting, look. Interesting. Interesting how he responds. But the thought of being better for the next person sucks. Because why can't I work on it with her so I can be better at for her? I get it. I can't change her mind. It's over. His focus is on external reasons rather than like, as this woman is advising, change for the sake of change. So you can learn. So you can be better. And he's like, yeah, but I want to do it with her, not for somebody else. I'm like, okay, your change is contingent on being with her. Now that she's not, you're like, oh man, it sucks. And then the woman's like, yo, no one can wait forever. Like, you can't just turn the feelings back on. And then she relates with her own experience, which I upvoted. I know my soon-to-be ex had a lot of feelings that I was walking away, but he didn't care until it affected him. Until I couldn't stay and his life was going to change. Then he was 100% ready and willing to do anything and everything. Maybe it was real, but it was too late. I literally couldn't feel love and affection for him anymore. So my impression based on this woman's story is that the moment that guy couldn't get what he was looking for, he dropped it. So if he's saying, I'm going to do anything and everything for you, I'm ready to change. Let's make it work. And she's like, sorry, I don't want to. And then, of course, he's like, oh, okay, I guess I'll stop. Can you believe that? So if you, Wizard, you and your fucked up takes. So that's the thing. She's being honest. And he's saying, I'm going to do anything and everything to change. And then he fucking drops it when a certain outcome isn't going his way. It makes things even harder for her to trust him. So that hope is getting destroyed even further. It's very clear that that person's change was not for any intrinsic reasons, which could be sustainable. It's just, it's all bullshit. To your point, Wizard, some of my clients have threatened that too. And then you know what the spouse does? Oh man, I gotta find this. I have to find this before I go. I gotta find it. This is fucking hilarious because I have a story where that actually fucking happened. Damn it, can I not go further back? Damn it. Oh man, I don't think I can find it because this was I think some time back. So I don't think Reddit post history goes that far back. Okay, I think I got it. I got it. I got the post. Oh, I got it. 4 months ago, wife left after a fight, not willing to talk to me or resolve things, blocked from everywhere since 12 days. What should I do? Oh, God. So my wife left me after a fight, which was a little heated. She was upset that I did not meet her when I reached home. She went upstairs and started shouting at me. I told her to calm down, but she kept on shouting, blaming, and threatening me, and it got a little heated. I told her, if you don't like me, you can leave. She went out of the house and blocked me. It has been 12 days since she's been threatening divorce. So he said, you can leave me if you want to. So it's not like he threatened divorce first in that way. It's like, go ahead, leave. And then she's like, okay, I'm leaving you. You told her if she didn't like you, she could leave, which is exactly what you did. Your marriage is over. I'm like, you're going to play stupid games, you're going to win stupid prizes. So yeah, Wizard, his spouse did change. She left. What? And I'm like, bro, your actions have consequences. And like, I try to help this guy too, very frequently. And then he's like, oh my gosh, those who leave never really come back. Is it too late? Like the flip-flopping is crazy. He's like, I want to do everything to make it work. Help. And then he's like, oh, I'm contemplating divorcing my wife. She abandoned me. Is it too late for me to start my life again? Since we have no children. My wife left me and will never come back. Should I wait for my wife to move on or leave the country? Why file for separation? Oh no, I'm lonely. And then like, just like, look at this shit. Oh my gosh. Here, look. Despite all the hard work I put in the relationship. Look, he says, at times I feel uncertain. There are also moments of relief. Relief that I won't have someone constantly breathing down my neck, shouting, criticizing me and my family, taking everything from me, never appreciating me and disrespecting me despite all the hard work I put in the relationship. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. And it's like, bro. Really? Yes, you are a god amongst men by saying, hey, you want to leave? You don't like me? Leave. Oh my gosh, how could you leave me? You fucking told her. Yep, she'll get a divorce. Marriage is over. I did everything. I still love her a lot. I don't want this to happen. Like, it is a shitty drama series. That's what this behavior is like. It's just like, bro, soap operas are better than this shit. It's like so cringe. So if someone is committed to like the flip-flopping back and forth, they're fucked. They keep crashing out. And this guy in particular, it's pretty interesting. Like, I can already see like major flaws. Where was it? Okay. I try to help the men out. Oh yeah. This guy, like, look at this shit. He's like, hey, like, just blatantly asking a bunch of people, yo, can you check out my socials? I'm like, are you fucking serious? Check out my socials, bro, because I'm lonely. I'm like, where the where, like, I called them out on another subreddit, but it's like, bro, this is drama. Yeah, that guy thinks he's a lawyer. I'm like, seriously? So you really just, like, when you see someone backed into a corner like that, or when someone's under stress, I don't want to say backed into a corner because some people have, like, their understandable reasons. But when that guy's not getting what he wants, when he's not getting what he wants, you can see the facade of who they really are. How someone deals with stress, how they approach a conflict, in my opinion, gives us so much information about who someone really will be. If he put half as much effort into his marriage than he does on his Reddit post, I know. He's like, and you're like, what the fuck? It's obvious to you. It's not obvious to him, or he's in denial about it. I'm sure he'd say something like, no answered complaint here. I tried everything in my marriage. I did everything. I was such a good husband. Hey, but what about that time about, like, when you told your wife to leave and you called her insert whatever terrible thing here, or when you cheated on your spouse, or when you didn't help them? No, I was just dealing with a lot, man. Don't you understand how hard it was for me? It's like, yo, like, could you imagine if you go to a restaurant, a 5-star restaurant, and instead of getting the food that you ordered, they gave you, like, crap? I'm pretty sure you're gonna be like, look, man, okay, I don't know what the fuck's happening, but I ordered certain food. I should get the food that I paid for. You having a hard day or not, like, I'm sorry you're dealing with a hard day, and I hope things go better for you, but none of that excuses the fact that I did not get the food I paid for. Even if they try really hard after the fact, doesn't mean they deserve to be forgiven. They shouldn't have done this shitty thing in the first place. Exactly. Well, they should just forgive me. I'm like, dude, forgiveness is secondary. Like, yeah, I ordered corn soup, not hot dog water. Like, if you order, like, let's make it more specific. For like you go to a burger joint, okay? And if you, let's say, want your meat cooked medium rare, and you get it cooked well done, you're like, wait, what the fuck happened? Can I get my medium rare burger? Like, your first, like usually you'll be like, hey, I got a well done burger. Could I get a medium rare? Like, that's already a problem. But then if they're like, man, you don't understand. I, as a chef, have been having a really hard day. Why can't you just appreciate the fact that I made you a burger? I'm sure you'd be like, I'm gonna go away from this restaurant because not only this is not well done, this is congratulations, bro. That's bro. But yeah, imagine if, like, you got your you'd be like, being a chef is hard. Be like, I bet it is hard, but can I get my medium rare burger, please? Don't you appreciate it? The fact that I cooked a burger for you? And then you're gonna be like, all right, not only did I not get my burger, but I'm inheriting an extra mess that, like, I just want a medium rare burger. That's it. That's all. Like, okay, if you can at least recognize, shit, I gave you, oh my god, I gave you a well done burger. I mixed up your order. I'm so sorry. Let me get you a medium rare burger, and let me double check to make sure it's your specifications. And because I fucked it up, let me give you a discount on this. Let me make it free because I wasted your time. Right? Then, you know, you'll be like, all right, at least they rectified the mistake. I'm still a little wary, but, you know, okay, I'll give it like a shot, I guess. But they've rectified their mistake. So it's like, okay, I'll give it another shot. Now, if it becomes a pattern, you're like, all right, like I'm not cool with this. With these some of these clients, it is a crazy fucked up pattern, and they don't rectify it. So imagine it's like they keep giving the well done burger, but not even that. They don't even correct and give you the medium rare burger. And this happens time and time again. After a certain point, you're going to be like, fuck it, I'm going to Arby's. Just like Chicken Burrito said. Now imagine this same chef is like, oh my gosh, these customers are just so ungrateful. They're terrible. They're going to eat Arby's slop over me cooking the best burgers possible. I'm the world-class chef. And it's not me that's the problem. It's these ungrateful customers. How could they do this to me? Man, I fucking hate these customers. And then when their shop like inevitably declines, oh my gosh, it's so hard being a chef. There's just, everyone is just terrible. And I'm just no good for anything at all. I'm just sad. Maybe I should just give up and never do burger things ever again. Why won't someone be there for me? I'm so sad. And then, yeah, crash out on Reddit, and you're like, okay, bro, you are imploding. That is a you problem. And then when they're like, and then here, so that's them imploding, right? Crash out on Reddit. And then they're like, as Wizard is saying, okay, fine, I screwed it up. Fine, I get it. I made really bad burgers. Okay, from now on, I'm going to make sure to make every burger to specification. And then, like, you have, and then you're like, shit, well, no one's showing up to my shop, even though I'm doing everything right now. I'm doing everything right now. People still aren't showing up. Wow, these customers really do suck. I can be so good and great, and I can make the best burgers, and they're still not showing up to my shop. People are so cruel. And of course, the normal reaction to that is like, yeah, glad I didn't go. I'm going to stay at Arby's because I don't want to deal with this chef, because this chef is kind of crazy. And then, of course, it's just the same cycle. It's like, dude, you appreciate the acting? I'm glad. That's what it can be like sometimes for the partners of these clients. Is that they're already used to dealing with bullshit for so long, to the point that they're out. So yes, the clients are on thin ice. And they don't like that they're on thin ice. They're not understanding of their customers, their partners' experiences at all. Because if the chef, for example, understood, oh, well, like a chef, any good chef would be like, well, dude, it's really fucking simple. Clients do not care for our hardships. We need to give them good food. That's why they're fucking there. Give them the good food and make sure it is actually good, and like consistently demonstrate that. If it is a problem customer, I'm pretty sure there'll be unanimous support from not just myself and my staff, but also from other customers who think like, yeah, I think it's just a problem customer. But if your knee-jerk response is to assume the customer is the problem, then like you've already failed as a chef who's there for their customers in the first place. Okay, Ryu, you had the word gaki, I'm ignoring it. But yeah, even if someone changes, even if the chef changes, as per like my silly example, guess what? People aren't going to care because they're focused on what they've experienced. They want to they don't want to risk going back to the same restaurants and dealing with not only, hey, I don't get the burger I want, But I also get the chef who goes fucking ballistic. Now, for the partner, you would naturally hope she cares about your feeling a bit more than a customer to a chef. That's still not guaranteed. At this point, for these partners, they're well beyond that. They're like, no, I don't give a fuck. I'm out. I've already tried of caring of those others' feelings, but it doesn't do anything beneficial. So even the customer to the chef thing, the customer can be like, man, I feel bad for this chef, right? So, you know, maybe the chef has changed, so I'll check it out. But truth be told, I'm not really that comfortable with the chef. And imagine if the customer said that to the chef and the chef has another crash out. Then the customer is going to be like, okay, look, I feel bad for them, but I'm out. Like, I can't do this. Because this chef is just not like, I'm getting bad food and I'm having a bad experience at this restaurant. I'm out. Like, I cannot do this. I give this a chance and I pay for it. And I've already been in this cycle 50 times. Like, I'd be an idiot to be here. For the partners of these clients, of the similar types of clients, it's very much the same experience. They are well out the door. They're like, look, you do whatever you want. You be emotional, but none of that is going to, like, you can threaten suicide, but none of that is going to keep me from being with you. I will encourage you to go get the help that you need because I care about that. But me being in a relationship with you is off. It's just off. I do not give a flying fuck. Now, you do whatever you want. I am not interested. You be perfect. I don't care. And so for them, it is incredibly important that they are not attached to anything about getting something selfishly because you're not going to get it. Now, also imagine in the same context, the chef does start getting a customer base, once again, through consistent hard work, right? But then he starts to chill and be like, well, I got a lot of customers now. I can take it a little easy. And then, oops, I guess I accidentally made one well done burger, but it's not that big of a deal. I still got this. Well, guess what? These same customers are gonna be like, fuck, I knew it. This guy's full of shit. Bye. And then insert chef crashing out once again. It's just, it's so, if their actions are for selfish benefits, if their actions are only motivated by external pressures, it is all gonna fall apart. So it's important, no matter what, for my clients to learn, hey, do this because that's just because you believe it's right, because that's who you are. This needs to become their primary focus. If you don't look within, if you are stuck in pre-contemplation, and if you're in denial, right? If you're in denial, you're screwed. All right. You need to have that self-awareness and practice building that self-awareness. And that starts with asking questions. Try to understand, what could you be doing that's fucked up? As per your own sense of values. An internal thing, an internal dialogue. If that isn't there, you're screwed. If you're not practicing building that, you're screwed. Nowadays, serving a wrong order gets you a 1-star review that everyone sees. And what's a great chef gonna focus on? Oh my gosh. Oh no! Oh no! I got a 1-star review, it's the end of the world! To being like, well, fuck, let me try to understand why I got the 1-star review to see what I can do about it to make it better. Did I, like, give the customer really shitty service or something? Let me find out. How did I give shitty service? Because if I give shitty service, I need to fix that shit. Because I want my customers to have a good time. But yeah, It always behooves, in my opinion, it always behooves ourselves. There should be a marriage app that you can leave a review for that day to your spouse. Oh my god. And it was a false accusation that he got a hair in his burger, but you're bald. Yeah. Obviously, are there going to be like shitty customers? Yes. But if that's like your first go-to whenever you're dealing with problems with customers, just to assume, oh, they're a shitty customer. It's like, bro, do you even should you even be in this business if that's your thing? Because it doesn't sound like you should be in this business. If your default is to just wonder, is to just assume your clients suck or your customers suck. That's just not going to help. So in the same way, having certain, and so what I try to help my clients with is to just change the way that they see things and think about things. It's a big journey of self-discovery. Self-discovery is important. Self-awareness is important. Them understanding how they can go down this route is very critical. And no matter what, it'll have amazing benefits to the point you don't even have to think about it. It goes beyond the relationship. It goes about, hey, like them reclaiming themselves, about their lives, redeveloping a healthy sense of control, doing things that they're proud of, navigating the uncertainties with life by being more certain about, hey, what I do actually can make a good difference. It's about creating that healthy self-esteem. But it takes a lot of honesty. It takes a lot of honesty, and naturally, I think for a lot of my clients, a lot of the reasons they do things in the present, which are problematic, is usually because they've incurred a lot of hardship in other parts of the life. I imagine early childhood, for example, kind of noticed that trend. I'm like, yeah, they probably didn't learn a lot of these things about healthy relationship skills in the first place. So I'm very compassionate to that. And I try to help them with that. But some people are unfortunately just stuck in denial and they're screwed. I can't help them. They don't think there's a problem that merits changing. Like I've told you a story about one person I've worked with before. They refused to think they were like, why do I need to change? And I wish I had known at that point. I'm like, okay, well, if you don't think that you need to change, then I guess that's it then. Like I should have realized, I wish I had realized at that point, like, okay, someone's refusing to change and doesn't even think they need to change, even though everything's falling apart and they're doing toxic things, then I can't help them. There's nothing I can do. So yeah, of course it's fated that if they don't make any proverbial change and this person's already experienced like 2-3 failed marriages, then okay. If they don't think the problem could be with them and that they seriously need to change, then okay, I can't really help. And I guess there's no point in me trying to help you. Right. Can't help someone who doesn't want to change. On the flip side, someone who wants to change and is hungry, as we've talked about in the stages of change theory, if someone's in the preparation stage, or even in the contemplation stage, I know I have a problem and I should do something about it. If they're in either of these two stages, it can work. I specifically try to help graduate them from contemplation to preparation stage and action stage. I try to get them down in this direction pretty quickly. Asking questions, being curious is all for that purpose. And if they don't, and that's it. Those are the clients that succeed. It's like, oh, you've had family estrangement? Okay, well, now you're not estranged from your family anymore, are you? Or in the cases where clients reconcile post-divorce, it's like, yeah, no wonder. The divorce is like, it's not really that much of a surprise. Like, let me ask you guys, would it be much of a surprise if Cass and I became a couple again? Based on what you've heard. It might be like, whoa, that's great, but I imagine some of you would say, like, it doesn't seem that surprising. You'd be like, oh, that's really great. But yeah, not a big, not like, oh, I don't think you guys would say that it would be that surprising. Whereas that guy on Reddit who I showed you was like, oh my gosh, whichever guy you want to think of. Now, if his, like, guys who are crashing out, like the people on Reddit who are crashing out, I'm sure you'd be like, yeah, that, like the people who are having a meltdown, or that guy who is like using the divorce subreddits for trying to get social media clout, them getting their partners back. I think you'd be like, that'd be like what? How the fuck did that happen? That seems really unrealistic. That difference tells you a lot. So yeah, would it be cool? Sure, in my own life, yeah. But I don't think it wouldn't really be that much of a surprise. It's kind of like, yeah, this does feel kind of obvious. A lot of the stuff that I say, and Wizard pointed this out like many hours ago here. Oh, and I gotta get going. But the stuff that I'm trying to encourage people to do, if you really just zoom out, it's like, it's kind of obvious. Wow, you be nice to people for the sake of being nice, and guess what? People will be nice to you because they can trust you that you'll be a nice person no matter what. Oh my god! So crazy! It's like, but they're not being nice to me now. I'm like, are you so wait, are you doing it purely as a transaction? Yeah, like what? No way. Yeah, like the stuff that I like say, if you really think about it, it's very obvious. But usually there's a lot of thinking and behavior which just gets in the way. Anyway, but yeah, there's my 3.5 hour rant. So I'm gonna dip out. For those of you that are here, still here, really appreciate, of course, having the company and just chatting about a lot of things. I actually thought today was gonna be another dead day. I was gonna be like a dead day, but hey, just being able to chat even with like one or two of you and three, when it gets pretty cool. So yeah, I'm gonna dip out. Tomorrow I'll be resuming Neo stuff. I think my focus is just gonna be on potentially making like what 500 hours in Neo 3 video looks like. I don't know if that's gonna be something I'll commit to, but I'm just gonna experiment and see if I can come up with like cool little like nifty clips for a video and trying to figure out what that will look like, because yeah, just working on that. And you get to credit Wizard for that. Wizard came up with that, so I'll try it out, see if I like it. But thank you all so much for being here, for watching. I'll have another one of these next week, and yeah, I will see everybody later. Take care and have a great rest of your day. Bye.